We should record.
Okay. Boom. Recording.
My SD card is being formatted, so.
Oh, well, that's a problem. Mine just said record. You should have been prepared, son.
Welcome, everybody. All right. Now I'm recording.
This is the inaugural run, so to speak. We're not actually podcasting this one. We're just doing the live stream portion. This is kind of a trial run. We're just going to hang out, have a little whiskey. I'm going to smoke a cigar. I don't think Taylor is. You're not going to smoke a cigar, are you, Taylor?
I cannot hear anything. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I said, I'm smoking a cigar. Are you having a cigar tonight?
I am not, because I'm in the middle of a warehouse, and I'll probably set off a smoke alarm and sprinklers.
Or some kind of flammable caustic fluids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you at least have some whiskey on hand, being that this is called Whiskey Night? Bitch, this is not called Beer Knife Fight.
Well, that's just because it doesn't sound as good as Whiskey Knife Fight, but I'm a beer drinker.
Well, I've got my whiskey.
I've
got my knife.
I have a bunch of breweries by me, and you know what? I enjoy a good IPA. Okay?
You would, skinny jeans. I'm just saying. I know a lot of people love IPAs. The hoppiness of IPAs bugs me.
You'll get used to it. I'll bring you some.
One day when I grow up.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story, guys, before we hopped on here. Jeremy texts me and he's like, "Are you ready to do our little pre-run thing? Like, so we can get in there and figure this out before we go live?" And I'm like, "You know what? Sure. Let's do it." So I copy the link and I send it to him in Discord, because you guys know I have a Discord, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And then Jeremy is like, "Why'd you send it in Discord? You and your Discord. Why didn't you just email it like everybody else?"
No.
What year is it?
No, what I said is, you flipping millennial. Why are you sending me shit in Discord?
Well, that's because, everybody has a Discord now.
No, dude, I can't stand it. I jump in yours sometimes just because to support the community and try to like say hi to everybody and talk to you and stuff. But Discord kind of bums me out, man. I don't know.
Discord is the best. And we're probably going to have a Discord server for this podcast eventually. Just saying.
I think I'm just too old.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you're what? 65 now?
42, man. 42.
We should probably tweet out and share the link everywhere.
Yeah, we should. I need to see, there's a problem, and I don't see any of the chat in here. Oh, there it is. Okay,
yeah,
I see it now.
You have to click the tab that says chat.
Okay, have we been past the 2-minute marker?
Probably not.
Okay, I have to refrain.
So I have to get all of my...
It says 3 minutes. Fuck you, Taylor.
So I have to get all my good jokes out before 2 minutes, so you forget about them.
Yeah, it's been 3 though. I got my timer on the recording. For all you guys that are wondering what's up with the 3 on these streams, the podcast, the live streams, we found that YouTube, they kind of watch the first 2 minutes, and in the first 2 minutes, if there's a lot of heavy profanity, they tend to demonetize stuff. After 2 minutes, the intro, they don't care as much. So I have to watch the first 2 minutes to watch my mouth. It's been 3 minutes. So now I can officially tell Taylor to fuck off when he says something not polite.
Which is going to be a lot on this podcast. I mean, let's be real.
I don't think a lot of these people haven't seen, I mean, they hear us talk to each other, like about each other on videos occasionally, but I don't think anybody on here understands how much we talk.
No, and they don't realize how much trash I talk to other people.
Right.
Nobody understands, except for the people in the Discord know. They are well aware. Oh,
I'm aware because you talk shit to me daily. If I don't get a text message calling me an old man, or get the GIF with like the old guy on the computer deleting his whole like hard drive that you send me like once a day.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sharing this to Facebook now. Fist.
Let's go. Look at some of the comments on here. March 31. There's a lot of them in here already.
Yeah, I really, Alex says, I do understand how much you talk.
Alex does, because she's always on the phone like, "We got to eat dinner. Can you guys get off? Tell your girlfriend you've got to get off the phone."
I walk through the door when I get home, and I'm on the phone, and Alex goes, "It's Jeremy, isn't it?"
I'll do that. That's a picture of her.
Yeah.
She's a cutie. I've never seen her.
You don't follow her on Instagram? What a prick.
Well, I just find it's weird to follow other people's like girls sometimes. Like it's kind of creeperish. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Look at that. There it goes. Somebody's already talking trash. Actually, Jim, are you saying that the skinny jeans and the slant pocket, are you just asking us to talk about it? Are you voting for both? I'm curious.
Here's the thing. Okay. First off, in this podcast, are we going to do like what we're drinking, what we're smoking, and what we're carrying on this? Are we going to do that since this is kind of that kind of thing? Or are we just going to not do that?
We can. I mean, it's a good way to intro.
Yeah.
We're flying by the seat of our pants because that's my MO.
I mean, well, tonight especially, I'm sure once we get kind of going, we'll get into a groove. But smoking, in case any of you guys are cigar smokers, I don't know how many of this audience are going to be cigar smokers. I assume quite a few are. This is a Diamond Crowned by JC Newman. Some cigars they sent me pretty recently to try out, and it's really good. It's a figurado. It's kind of shaped like a baseball bat, tapered on both ends, but fatter at one end than the other.
Hey, look at this.
Hey, you do have a cigar.
I do. I'm not going to smoke it. It's been in this cellophane in my office for 2.5 years.
Oh, that fucking thing's dry as a mummy's nuts. Okay. I mean, that's
a little crunchy. It's really hard.
That thing is dry as a mummy's ball sack. I guarantee you.
It's a super fuerte.
It was probably good 2 years ago before it turned to powder.
Is it not going to focus? Come on, camera. No. Got to do the old trick. Yeah, there we go.
Chris says, just pipes, Jeremy, just pipes. I do smoke a pipe sometimes. I don't as much as I used to, just because it's a little easier to smoke a cigar. But I do smoke a pipe sometimes. Sometimes I feel like getting that Sherlock Holmes vibe out and getting on my pipe and feeling like a proper gent, you know?
Or a hipster.
Or a hipster, either. I get that enough as it is because of the beard and tattoos, which is funny because I think I'm too old to be a hipster. Can you be a hipster and be in your 40s? I don't think you can.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
really?
yeah.
I thought hipsters were guys like millennials, like people in your age bracket.
It's just somebody who follows the trends or is just ahead of the trends. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Hipsters don't follow the trends because they're too hip to follow the trends.
Drinking wise, I, for now, am drinking a So Juicy Hazy IPA from Cabarrus right here in Concord, North Carolina.
Very nice.
Local brewery.
Right now, I'm finishing my Black Rifle Coffee espresso shot, and I will very soon be going to some Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. That's some good whiskey. It is, dude. It's a good warm up whiskey. So I know, Taylor, we've talked about this in the past that you're a whiskey guy, but you're not quite into whiskey as deep as I am, and you're obviously deeper into knives and watches than I am. So we're going to help educate each other on some of this stuff. Yeah, definitely. Well, I went hardcore into just Scotch for like a year, like hardcore. And then I was like, okay, this is extremely expensive. So I've got to slow down. And then I pumped the brakes and then I got into knives, which is way more expensive. Well, then watches, which you could buy like 30 bottles of Scotch for one fucking watch, right? Yeah. But this is easily 100 bottles of Scotch. Oh, easily. Or not 100. I don't know how many bottles. I can't do math. I wore this one tonight just to piss you off, by the way. I know. I hate you. Here's the thing. In my defense, for all you guys watching, and the one guy on your video this week was like, and screw him for getting that watch before you did. Yeah. In my defense, you did not want this watch. Okay. I did, but the one I sent you was the bronze bezel, not the full bronze. But right. You sent me not the Bico. Right, not the Bico. You sent me the black with the bronze and the green with the bronze. I sent you, in general, Divers 65. Correct. That's the watch I wanted, and I was torn between that one, the black with the bronze bezel, or the green with the bronze bezel. Right. Those are the three that I was really up in the air about. I had ordered an Oris Aquas. Yeah, who wants that? And I like the Aquas, but... it was like 6 weeks out from being, it was, had a 6 weeks wait on it. It wasn't going to be shipped for 6 weeks. And then you told me about the Diver 65s, and I immediately fell in love with the double dome sapphire crystal and all the things. And then I saw the Bico, and then, me with the patina. I was like, I immediately canceled. Patina, who dat? I immediately canceled my order on the Aquas and ordered the, Can
I show you what I really want. If I can't get a Diver 65, this is what I want instead. I can share my screen here, right?
I guess so. Just make sure you close that porn window you were looking at with the midget porn you were just checking out before we.
Oh, look at that!
Oh.
Ooh, this is a nice view. Look at that. This is the Laurier Neptune Black Gilt.
That's nice. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the Omega. What is the Omega? Oh God, what's it called?
Seamaster.
It's the
Seamaster,
but it's a Seamaster, not the one with Seamaster 300. I think it might be called.
I'm not sure.
It looks kind of like the Omega James Bond watch a little bit.
I really like this. I just don't want to wait until late August, early September. So I've been waiting for one to pop up on secondary.
Dude, I'm still a little on the fence about one of those Captain Cooks, bro. That's a pretty sweet looking watch.
It's pretty sweet, but I've gone back and forth about wanting one. This Neptune would be like a substitute for the Diver 65 for me.
Yeah.
And I might like it just as much, honestly, because they're pretty much the same watch. Like they're different on the inside, but as far as aesthetics go, they're very similar. This one doesn't have a bronze bezel, but that's okay.
The my next one is the
John B said reminds me of every other diver. You're not wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah,
you're not wrong.
John B's not. I mean, divers are divers, man. There's a lot of similar heritage there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of family resemblance.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
No shortage of sub homages. That's for sure.
Well, the next watch I'm going to buy is a Tudor Black Bay, and I mean I don't know if that's a sub homage, but it's
a sub homage.
I mean, they're owned by the same people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Tudor's owned by Rolex, so if anybody should be allowed to make a sub homage and it not be a problem, it should be Tudor.
So Dude Dynus says, looks like both have the same mic, but for some reason sound different. So somebody a minute ago said that your volume is a little low.
Okay, I'll turn it up.
But we're both using the Rode Pod mics and the Rode Caster Pro. You sound the same to me.
Is that any better, guys? Let me know.
But this Rodecaster does some auto EQing for us. So it kind of takes our voices and how we want them tuned and EQs them a little differently.
Yeah. So if it's still too quiet, let me know. I can crank it up further. I just don't want to start like knocking everybody out. I'll turn it up in small increments. A little bit more. There we go.
That Dude Dynus, that guy's logo just makes me think of Jimmy DiResta.
I like it. I like the logo. I like a good avatar or whatever you call that thing. Is that an avatar?
Profile picture, old man.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Jeremy is all like, don't get into watches. And then starts with the watches. Jeremy was like, I'm not getting into watches. I'm not doing it. I don't care about why would I want to wear a watch? Why do I need to buy an expensive watch?
Oh, dude.
I
was like, no.
All of a sudden, one day, he just went hard.
It was Peter. Peter screwed me up because, see, you were showing me some watches that were more, what is that style of watch that you tend to like that I'm not a huge fan of? Field watches? I think that's what they're called. I like them. I can respect them, but they don't really speak to me, right? So I liked them, but I was able to resist. And then Peter showed me some of his collection that were like really kind of in my wheelhouse. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch. He got me.
He's got some nice watches.
He does have some nice watches. He's got for sure nice watches. And I won't say what watches he has to respect his privacy, but it got me, dude. Hook, line, and sinker. Hooked me, and then next thing I know, I'm on the phone with you. I'm like, so I bought this, and you're like, Jesus Christ. And the next day, I'm like, so I bought this. You're like, stop.
Yeah, and savage. For the next week and a half, you're like, and now I bought this, and now I bought this, and yeah, that was right after I bought the old Damasco.
See, that's probably my favorite field watch kind of thing that you have.
Almost like a Flieger chronograph, but it's,
I like it.
Definitely German. Basically, German watch design is what you don't like.
I mean, nothing against the Germans.
Father Time got into watches.
It's true. Father Time. That's I don't know if they watch Dan. They might watch Dan and my buddies, the Bourbon Junkies, Dan and Sean. They call me Father Time, and what's the other one? No, was it Gandalf? No, I think you call me Gandalf. Old Man Winter was the new one. Old Man Winter. And I'm like, fuck you guys. I live in Florida. We don't even have winter here. That doesn't even make sense. At least
I call you Graybeard.
You do call me Graybeard. And I can't really say not much about that because I do have this unfortunately large gray streak in the front of it.
My beard has been short for several months. It's too hot right now. I mean, literally like physically right now, but also in general, you know. Dude, it's not 85 degrees in your room right now.
Well, no, but I live in Florida where the humidity's like water outside. You walk outside and you need to fucking snorkel. Like it's serious business.
Yeah, it's actually pretty humid here too, but somebody mentioned my mic sounds a little more Skypey. I think that's probably because it's having to do some noise cancellation on this fan that I have on me. I literally have a fan right here because my AC is not cooling off my office right now. So this is something we're going to have to get tuned before we actually record the podcast because I can't have a fan like blasting straight into the mic.
And we appreciate all of your patience because it's going to be a work in progress, man. You know, it's going to take us probably 3 or 4 or 5 episodes to really kind of get things dialed in and get things sounding right and running on all cylinders, so to speak.
Yeah, and we originally planned to launch this back in February?
Yeah, dude. I had some scheduling issues for like a month and a half or so, and then you had a little bit of a scheduling issue, and then we had a technical difficulty because your audio interface took a shit. So yeah, it's been a series of unfortunate events, but we're here, baby. We're here.
We are here. Yeah. Yeah, so we were going to start last week, and the my interface did just crap out. Oh, you're going to show us your knife?
I forgot we got back off what we were carrying, and I just did the video on this. This is that new, man, this thing sold out in 30 minutes, and I'm not going to tell you the amount that they had because I told Zach I wouldn't share that information, but they had a grip of these damn things, and they sold out in 30 minutes. So that means a lot of you guys got these. Oh yeah, dude, show that thing.
That's what's in my pocket right now. I don't have the other ones.
Did you put the Topo blade in it already?
Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You could send me a Topo blade, by the way.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah, we're not selling them like this, and this one isn't the actual prototype. Well, this is a prototype, but this isn't the actual one that's for sale. The logo on this one is much smaller than the one that will actually be for sale. But these will go up next week.
I can't put can I put comments up?
Yeah, I think so. You should just have to click it.
Just double click it?
Just click it.
It's not letting me click it.
Oh, what are you trying to put up?
Dude Dynasty? Or Dude Dynast? I can't really. My wife is not a big fan.
The knife that I actually have in my pocket is the Gareth Bull Shamwari. It's a Shamwari, but it's manufactured by We Knives. So
can I say you're much better at pronouncing shit than me? I can't pronounce anything properly.
Well, you can barely speak, so
it's true.
Why did I start a podcast with you?
Because for you to have somebody to pick on.
Yeah. Well, I got a whole Discord server of people to pick on. So
this knife, though, man, I know some people don't like the weight of copper, but I don't mind the weight of copper. Like it feels substantial. It feels good. And this thing's great, man. All you guys that actually got one of these when they dropped on Monday or Tuesday, I think they dropped, you're going to be happy if you haven't already gotten them. You will be happy when you do.
I thought I had mine right here. I don't, but I've got the other.
Oof, yeah. You sent me one of each one of those things, and they are dope.
Yeah, you see the logo is much smaller on this one. Yeah, this was just a pre-run that we decided to change up a little bit.
I tell you, Big Eye crushed the Topo on that. It looks really good. It's just the right amount of pop. You know what I mean? Because sometimes Topo can be a little faint to where it's almost not noticeable. I like how pronounced that is.
I picked the Topo pattern, so I designed it. I did all the like design work. I sent them the files, and they just made it happen. They're really good guys.
Oh, Aiden says I love my coin. I don't know which coin he's talking about. If he's talking about the coin that came with this, yeah, it's pretty dope. That solid copper coin that it came with.
So I took all of my coins home and put them in my little caddy that I have on my nightstand and forgot them there. So
they're nice.
I probably have like $50 in copper coins.
Wow.
Like not like, aftermarket price. I'm saying like if you just melt it down, you have pure copper.
Copper's expensive, man.
Oh, I know.
That's why people like steal people's ACs, right? Doesn't it? Because all the copper that's wrapped.
Catalytic converters. That's not copper. Different coils. Yeah, AC units have big copper coils.
Well, this coffee's almost done. It's gonna be time to bust out the whiskey. I mean, this is whiskey knife fight.
It is, and I'm drinking beer. I thought about the beer knife fight comment. I predicted that earlier today when we were talking on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you were going to say something.
Hold on. Somebody's asking me a question down here. Jeremy, where did you find... Dude, blow that one up. Okay, because I can barely see that far away. Where did you find the soft phone? Just picked... Fuck you, Taylor. I know what you're going to say. I'm old and I can't see. I got old man eyes. Blow me, bitch. Just picked up a copper Zippo, a ton of inserts. Mine is... Here's the problem, bro.
Platinum. Okay, I got you.
Where the fuck is my thing? Right? Here's the problem. Somebody didn't believe me when I said that this was a butane insert because it's a soft flame, but I promise you it's a butane insert. Let me take it out.
Yeah, they've got those. I have the butane torch.
Right. Well, I think most people have seen the torches. That's why the guy thought I was lying, because mine looks like a Zippo flame, and it's got the actual wheel like a Zippo instead of having the clicker like the torches have. Yeah. This is a Thunderbird soft flame insert. Now,
so Thunderbird makes both, but Zippo has actually started making their own butane inserts.
Yes, but they're all jet. They don't make any of the soft flame ones. The problem is I can't find these on Amazon anymore. I tried to link them on my last video because I know people were going to ask about them, and I looked. I can't find them. It's made by Thunderbird. Just keep an eye out. Maybe they're out of stock, but they're called Thunderbird.
My guess would be that Zippo bought them out and just rebranded. That's my guess. I don't know.
It could. Well, I can still find the Thunderbird inserts, just not the soft flame versions with the wheel like a real Zippo, right? I can still find the jet ones that have the click, and it's a jet.
Like what I have.
Right. Because these look and act just like a real Zippo. It's got the wheel. It's got the soft flame. I mean, it's just like a real Zippo lighter, but without the fluid.
So how does the fluid last? Because the butane with the jet, it lasts for a very long time because yours, you strike it and it just keeps going. Mm-hmm. Does it seal? That's part of the problem.
It does, right? So this is the little lever that when you open and close it turns the gas on and off. So as long as this thing's open, this is going to keep going. Now, if you flip this up, or like when you close it, this flips up, it turns the flame off.
Hey, look who it is. I imagine that's Chad. I think it's Chad. It's probably not Joe. What's up, Chad? Happy birthday.
Oh, it's his Chad. Happy birthday, man. I was going to do you a little serenade, but I'm sure everybody doesn't want to hear that shit.
I'll play him some rock music.
Happy birthday, my brother. There you go.
That's all I got for you.
It's a heavy metal birthday for Chad. Chad is my brother from another mother, man. That guy is such a cool dude.
He is. Wait, I think I have clapping. Nope, that's a rim shot.
I think I have
Nope, sad trombone. There we go.
I don't know which ones. I don't know if I have any. I can't hear them.
Yeah, you have to hit the little green ear on your board.
Oh, that's crickets. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that after half Taylor's old man jokes.
The
good thing is you can load stuff on these, so we have to load some like fun stuff on those.
Yeah, so I actually put this rock song on here as like a possible intro. I mean, we're not going to use this one. I was just going to test it out for this. I think it's kind of cool.
No, it's got a decent riff to it. I'll have to get yet a fucking another
Epidemic sound.
Yeah, dude. Like they keep putting copyright things on my second channel because I didn't.
Oh, you know what? I just played that on this. This is going to get copyright struck.
Yeah. See, their bots are precise. I will not I will have the softest background music just as a sound bed in a video that it's on negative 30 dB with my loud ass over top of it, and their bots still grab it and put a copyright strike on it. I'm like, fuck, man. That is aggressive.
Shoeman asks, will all future episodes be live too? Most of them, yeah. Look at that. His profile pictures with Peter. Look at that.
Look at that.
Cute. How cute.
Big old Pete.
He is tall.
He is.
Yeah, I think for the most part they're all going to be live, unless like I'm out of town and I can't do it, and then we'll record an audio only most likely. But yeah, for the most part it's going to be live every week. But it may take us a few weeks to really, or honestly maybe months, to ramp up to being weekly.
Yeah, weekly and really, like I said, get in a groove, get some good. I think we're going to have like a loose topic for most of them. That's obviously going to kind of stem things, and we'll obviously branch off from that. But this was more of just a get on here and shoot the shit kind of thing.
Just get warmed up. We're also not going to have
best
MDC background. I was literally in the process of making a whiskey knife fight background before we went live. That was one reason we were a little late. So yeah, I got it right here.
Oh, there you go. Gets a good start.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to rotate it. I couldn't figure out how to rotate it, and I can make it dimmer.
Pete just did that video.
I know. I'm doing this in Photoshop though, not in.
Oh, you have to do it in After Effects. It looks super easy in After Effects. It was like 3 clicks, and he had that damn thing multiplied and turned and.
Yeah, so I tried to follow those instructions, and that didn't work
for you.
No, I tried, but it's I couldn't get it to export. And I talked to Kirk for a long time about it, and we couldn't figure it out, so I just let it be.
Because Kurt made that one in the back, right?
Yeah, Kirk made this one, yeah.
Because the fact it's got a little bit of like a RGB blur on it, and then it fades.
Yeah, so this is just a still. He sent me an After Effects, obviously an animation, and it's got like a CRT kind of scan line.
Right. That looks good. I like that. I like it. I feel it. Although for a background, I think a still is probably a better choice just because it drives people crazy with it constantly moving in the back.
Yeah, I had to Photoshop this one just to change the colors and darken it a lot.
Yeah, looks good. I like it. What are you guys using to live stream? What the hell's this thing called?
Streamyard,
which I'm not I don't know. We looked through a few. Me and him have tested this a couple times just privately, and we tested a couple different. Streamyard seemed to be the best one, but
that's still not saying much.
Yeah, but it's still not great because first off, you can only do 720. You can't even do 1080, which is kind of, I don't know why that's dumb.
Yeah, but it's got some cool features like being able to feature comments.
I love the way you can put the comments up there.
Yeah,
right?
That is really the best thing.
Right.
Honestly.
Because it gets to highlight the person. You can see what their what did you call it? Profile pic. Not their avatar, as I called it. Old man language.
Avatar is a movie. Okay.
By the way, weren't they supposed to have a part 2 of that like 13 years ago?
No.
I think they were.
No. Dude, Dynast, OBS or Streamlabs is great, but we're trying to call at the same time. And if you try to do that through OBS, what you get is kind of the same effect that Blade HQ has run into with having people on Knife Banter. Mm-hmm. And you get a delay. The second person's audio quality is strongly diminished because it gets compressed twice. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't work quite as well. Like, I'm very familiar with OBS and we could easily do it, but this way we don't have latency. So with Blade HQ setup, like, I would say something and there's just a tiny bit of latency. So Zach would start talking and then he'd hear me and then he would stop. And there was just always just this latency that screws everything up. And we didn't really want to do that, especially for a podcast. So
yeah, because this one is not going to be a podcast. So this is just going to be a live stream. But normally the live stream is going to be on YouTube, and then after that, the next day we'll upload everything to all the podcasting platforms, and they'll be available for audio version.
Whoa! This guy told me how to do it. Look at that.
What? Who? What?
Pics sort of.
OBS takes a lot of setup. Taylor, Prometheus. These comments are far away. Far away. Jeremy, what firearm do you carry? Click on that one, Taylor, Dustin, just so everybody can see it. I right now am carrying, I mean, not right now, I'm in my house, although I wouldn't put it past me. I carry a Ruger LC or LC9. No, LP, CLP. What the hell is it called? The Ruger light carry pistol, LCP. Jesus Christ. Only because it's got the clip on the gun itself, so I can just tuck it in my waistband. It's summer, it's hot. Sometimes I just have on board shorts or something, and you can just tuck it inside your waistband with the clip, and you don't have to have a holster. It's very small, compact. I don't love the fact that it's a 380. 380 is not my favorite caliber. I really have considered buying a Glock 43. I think, is the 43 the single stack? I want to say the 43 is the single stack 9mm, if I'm not mistaken. I really thought about switching over to a Glock 43. But right now, LCP, that's what I'm carrying. Yeah. Glock G40. Yeah. That gun is, everybody seems to love that for a carry. Hey, look at you. Everybody seems to really dig that for a carry, because it's you don't have a ton of capacity because it's a single stack. So I think there's only like 6 in one in the pipe or 7 in one in the pipe. But it's a 9mm, which I think is overall a little bit of a better round. 380s are a little,
You have left me in the dust.
Yeah. 380s are just kind of, it's a bit of a wimpy round. I mean, that being said, if you got good shot placement, you could put a 22 in the right spot and it's going to stop somebody. But in general, people tend to start considering 9mm and above real calibers. Anything below 9mm is kind of,
I like 22 long rifle.
I mean, they're good for plinking.
No, my grandpa, I don't know what happened to it when he passed away, but he had a 7 shooter, like a cylinder, it was a revolver. It was a 22 long rifle revolver. And it was just sweet. Like, it was just a sweet gun. Like, I wouldn't carry it or anything, but for shooting, oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, there's no recoil to 22s, right? So you can shoot them all day and just ting, 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 ting. It's like shooting a pellet gun, right? Springfield XD. I used to have a Springfield. I like them. They're a little chunky as far as a carry. Hell, I say that. I used to carry a full-size 1911 for a long time. Like full-size 1911, a Smith & Wesson 1911. But, it got to be a thing where lately I've gotten into something small and easy to conceal is a lot less cumbersome. So I've just kind of gone to a little more minimal carry. I've got friends that carry full size 9mm with 17 in the mag and 1 in the pipe, and then they carry an extra magazine. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, what are you about to get into that you think you need 34 rounds? Like, that's a lot of ammunition. If you need that many rounds, you need to get the hell out of wherever you're at. But yeah, I've gone a little more minimal on the firearm carry lately. I've went down from carrying a 1911 to the 380, but I do think I'm going to go back up to a 9.
I have a question. How do you deal with your guns not being brass?
How do you know they're not?
Because you're not that baller.
No, brass would be a horrible thing to have a gun, because against your skin and stuff, it would probably like turn you. Because I tuck mine just right. I carry mine at about I guess you'd say the 3 o'clock, just tucked into my pants. My belly's too big to appendix carry these days. The old Dunlap gets in the way.
Nice. So
I tend to carry it about 3, and I just carry it against my skin under my shirt. So brass would probably like turn my hip green. It would probably not be good.
Well, I get a ton of questions about why I don't talk about guns, why I don't carry one. They've really just never been much of a part of my life. Like, I've gone shooting a lot, but I've never really carried one, never even owned one. So
I just had to actually renew my concealed carry permit, and I'm going to block off the info because nobody needs to see all that. But dude, look how close they zoomed in. They totally cut the beard off. Look how close, because the new concealed carry, you actually do it at home. You take the picture and then you send it to them. It's all done online. If you've already had one, if it's for the first time. And I've had one for forever, years, 10, 12, 15 years. I've had a concealed carry. So I sent him the picture
This is the most true comment ever.
Dude, yeah, that's why I don't deal with it on my channel, and that's why when I do my EDC updates, I don't ever mention it, because I am on After Hours, my secondary channel that I don't monetize anyway. I do think I'm going to start working a little firearm stuff in there occasionally. But yeah, YouTube, man, they take a really staunch kind of negative opinion of that. But anyway, yeah. The picture I took was shoulder to shoulder and like down to here. It was like a normal like ID, like passport looking photo. And this is what I get in the mail. It's like, what the hell? Why is that so zoomed in?
I don't know. I will probably gonna do. It's a long day, guys.
You got germified right there, bro.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna try to get my concealed carry this year. I probably won't carry, honestly. But I'll get it.
Fuck you, Chad.
It did look like a fugitive photo.
Dude, it's better than my old one. Oh my God. I don't have it up here. It's downstairs. I don't think I have. No, I don't. I have one of my old photos. I dead look like I'm on the like Taliban watch list. Like it's not good, bro. I don't know what's up with that picture. Oh, by the way, Taylor, very solid recommendation, my friend. I talked about it in my EDC. If any of you guys have not checked out Das auf Enemier,
Chad missed the plug too, so I'm gonna replug with the old TPT slide drop. Go follow Big Idea Design. If you're not, you really should be.
If you don't have at least something from then, you're fucking up.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong.
You're not doing it right, because they do some great stuff.
Dude, I uploaded my truck video, and people are like, that's for all that shilling you did for Big Idea Design.
you know, this is a good time to talk about that.
Yeah.
It cracks me up how people on YouTube. Now, look, I will admit there are some people on YouTube that are shamelessly, they're out for hire, right? Anybody that will pay them, they'll say how good, they'll sing its graces.
Oh yeah.
I know all the people that I currently am friends with on YouTube, you, Peter, Bourbon Junkies, people that I talk to on YouTube that are kind of friends, and myself. I don't care how much somebody's willing to pay me. If it's a product that I don't use myself and I don't like, I'm not going to talk about it, because if you lose the faith of your audience, you've screwed your whole pooch. It's not worth a paycheck to lose that trust. You're
not reliable anymore. I got a product in the mail this week that's supposed to be for a sponsorship, and man, I am so on the fence about it, which already tells me that's a giant red flag. Like, it's okay, it's very expensive, and I'm like, they sent this to me. What do I do now? And I'm thinking about telling them to shove it. So
I've had to do that with a couple people. Oh, real quick, Taylor, I'm sorry to change. Where is it? Somebody just asked me which Das auf Enemier wallet this is.
Yep, right here.
Right here. This is that a topsider quick draw? No. This is actually the Hubei. Hubei, is that how you say it? Hubei? Hubei.
It looks like a topsider quick draw.
It's not, I promise. Because the a topsider quick draw and the Hubei are almost identical, right? The difference is I think the amount of
second layer of pockets.
There's a second layer of pockets, and the quick draw has a slit that goes in. This is actually a pocket, right? So this, where the topsider is all one piece folded, this is actually two pieces, and there's another row of stitching along the bottom. So this is the Hubei. It's got like which I actually kind of like this one, because it's got I like this pocket better than the little slot for the quick draw.
Well, you can send me your topsider.
No, I have a regular topsider that's made of reverse shell cordovan that
I know. You can send that to me.
But this one, if you need a couple more pockets, and you want a quick access in the back, the Hubei, I think Hubei or Hubei, I'm not for sure, but really, really good option.
Basically, if you want a YouTuber who can pronounce the name of your product correctly, do not work with Jeremy.
Fuck you, Taylor.
That's okay. It's okay, because I did a video on the Hitch and Timber Does All, and the entire video I call it the Do's All.
The Do's. Well, I mean, it kind of looks a little Do's All because it's spelled D-U-Z. Right?
It's spelled D-U-Z. So I'm like, Do's? And I literally hit publish and I looked at the word and I'm like, oh my God. It's does.
Yeah.
It's does. And I said do's the entire video. What an idiot.
People don't even bat an eye when I screw something up anymore, because matter of fact, I will say Michael Bluth, good man, gave me props. He commented on my video that I pronounced Dasafenimir properly. Apparently a lot of people do not pronounce Dasafenimir properly.
It's German. It's not that hard.
But I've seen a lot of people say Das. How do they say it?
Affine.
Yeah, Das Affine Mir and Das. So he's like, oh my God, you pronounced it right. I'm like, it's a damn miracle, because normally I crush everything. And I do cigar reviews. So all these cigars have like Spanish names and I do not speak Spanish. So I butcher that. I mean, I'm a redneck. I've lived in the South my majority of my life. I'm like, quesadillas. Can I have some of them quesadillas? I don't know.
I rewatched, I should say, The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. And one, it'll make you feel really good about your life. If you've not seen it, you should watch it, because you're going to instantly feel better about where you are.
Yeah. You're good. It really just makes Southern folk look bad though.
But the scene that always sticks with me is when they're at Taco Bell. They're at a drive-thru, and CPS has just informed one of the moms who just gave birth that they're keeping a child because it was already having withdrawal symptoms when she gave birth. Go figure. And she's at the drive-thru window, and she's like, God, what's she at? She said something about a quesadilla, but then she's like, y'all got them fiestas? And they're like, we don't have fiestas. And he said, do you mean maybe a gordita? And she's like, so you don't have fiestas? Why is it on the menu if you don't have it? And he's like, we don't have fiestas. She's like, y'all got cheese sticks? And I'm just like, you're Taco Bell. No, they don't have cheese sticks. But they pull forward, and there's somebody inside that they know, and they stop, and they're honking the horn and yelling at him. And through the window, she's like, she's crying. CPS took her baby. And it's just like,
oh my God.
Like, no self-awareness whatsoever. None.
Wait for it. I don't try not to spill this. Did it pick it up?
Yeah, that's a good sound.
That's a good sound. That's not fair. Oh, by the way.
Old pirate glass.
The old pirate glass.
Mine doesn't get a lot of use because it's here, and I only do the EDC weekly once every other month.
Well, here's the thing.
So we're going to rename it to the EDC every other monthly.
Since this is Whiskey Knife Fight, and we haven't spoke much about whiskey yet, and whiskey's the first fucking thing in the title of the podcast.
Which I'm not even partaking in.
Just for everybody out there so you can see what this is. Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. This is a
special edition of the Double Oaked.
Yeah, this is a store pick, Total Wine and Spirits. I don't know, Taylor, you're not as into the whiskey communities, but you're going to get there. So store picks are, if you don't know, I'm not trying to talk down to you if you already know this. So if you know, just tell me to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
You already know about store picks?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just felt like that was a really good opportunity.
Store picks are when individual store gets sent samples of different barrels, and based on what they like, they pick a particular barreling of a spirit. So this isn't the normal double oak. This was specifically picked by the people at Total Wine as their favorite barrel or batch of, sometimes it's not single barrel, sometimes it's a batch, a small batch. But anyway, Total Wine. A lot of store picks are actually better. It depends on the store, though. You have to know if the people at the store have a good palate that agrees with your palate. And if so, sometimes the store picks are like way better than the normal bottles.
Well, I have to say your ABC in Florida is a whole lot better than mine.
Well, this is an ABC. This is Total Wine.
Well, no, your ABC is the Commission of Alcohol and Beverage. Gotcha. Yeah, so like we don't have a lot of options here in North Carolina. Like there's a pretty decent selection, but what we have to choose from is very, very limited, especially where I am. Like all the ABC stores near me are very small. Once you get into Charlotte, they get a little bigger. But if I drive into South Carolina, they're just stacked with whiskeys.
Well,
so it's a 40-minute drive for me, but it'd be worth it.
If you ever need a bottle that you can't find that I can get down here, just let me know and I'll ship it up to you.
There is a store called ABC in Florida. Is second to Total Wine. So we have a ton of ABC stores here in North Carolina because you in Florida have much more lax liquor laws.
Well,
correct. Like you can get liquor at grocery stores and gas stations. Correct.
No.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Publix does have a liquor store, but it's not inside the Publix. It's owned by Publix, but it's next door.
Right.
It's a separate,
Right. So we have to go specifically to an ABC store. There's no, like, Total Wine does not have liquor. They have beer and wine. So once you like kind of take that away, so it is slightly more lax liquor laws, but we have to have like it's specifically only at an ABC store. And a lot of those are locally owned by small people. Like they're very small businesses and they just don't stock a lot of stuff. They stock the Jamesons and Evan Williams and stuff like that, but they don't drink or they're like, I've been to 3 ABC stores in Concord. It's been a while, but I went to one. They had hardly any scotch. Yeah. They had like 3 bottles of scotch. Like,
generally speaking, the big box stores I found are not the best places to find stuff. Now, I say that, then I'm showing you a store pick from Total Wine. Total Wine does get some good store picks here, and because how many they have, you can sometimes find a winner in Total Wine. But in general, all the good bottles that I find, I don't find at any of those like big stores. I find them at like little locally owned stores because they're not ravaged as much, right? So like the guy was telling me about at Total Wine, he's like, yeah, you have to get here on the day our truck gets here. And there's like the whiskey guys, there's a line out front on the days they know our truck gets here. And if you're not here in that line on the day our truck gets here, you're not going to get any of the allocated bottles, like the tough bottles to find. And I'm just not fixing to do all that shit. I have a 3 or 4 store little mom and pop shop circle around my house that I hit about once a week or once every other week. And that's where I always find all my good bottles.
I was gifted the last little bit of a bottle of Elmer T. Lee, which so good. And yes,
you found some of this double oak though, didn't you? You bought a bottle of that, didn't you? What did you think about it?
It's amazing.
Do you get maple pancakes?
Yeah, it tastes like straight up maple syrup. It's a little too sweet for me to drink a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not big into very sweet whiskeys. I like savory, smoky, peaty scotches.
Dude, so got to go get some Ardbeg Wee Beastie.
Dude, I love Ardbeg.
You've got to get some Wee Beastie, the new stuff that just came out.
They don't have it. We have Ardbeg 10, and that's it. And the Urgadel, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the only other one. Yeah,
dude, if I could find another bottle of it, I'll send you a bottle. It's the cheapest Ardbeg. It's the youngest Ardbeg. It's their entry line.
Oh boy, because Ardbeg 10 is pretty.
The weird thing is, dude, I think it's smoother than all the other ones.
Wow. Okay.
It's fucking delicious, and I think it's sweeter and smoother than the 10 or the Ugadal.
Okay, you send me that. I'll send you a bottle of Rua.
What the hell is Rua?
Rua is the Charlotte whiskey. So it's a brand new distillery, and they're doing artificial aging. And it tastes amazing. The first time I cracked it open, I tasted it. I'm like, okay, put it back, and didn't drink it for probably about 3 months. The second time, dude, I cleaned the bottle. Like it was really good. I guess it just needed to open up a little bit. And man,
sometimes neck pours are a little rough, right? So neck pours, which they call it when you first pop it, and you pour out a little bit on the neck. I've had bottles that on the neck pour I did not like. And then after it got down out of the neck a little bit and it got a little air to it and it opened up a little bit, totally different whiskey. Totally different whiskey.
Well, I really enjoyed the Rua. It's about a $40 bottle, and it's not that hard to find. So
you guys I'll try to dry days. Yes, I have dry days all the time. I don't drink every day.
I have dry days most days. Jeremy, every time I call him, he's like, "Oh, just on a cigar whiskey break for the third time today."
You know, it's funny. I was going to talk about this in a video coming up. My New Year's resolution back, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, was to drink more. which is funny because a lot of people's New Year resolutions, like, lose weight, drink less, stuff like that. Mine was to drink more, because I think it's important to like have a little bit of time every day to sit down and just relax, right? Decompress, relax. And the way I do that is a cigar and a glass of whiskey. Now, that being said, I think it's important not to overindulge, because drinking a lot of liquor all the time is super bad for you, and nobody wants to be like an alcoholic. I usually have a pour of whiskey a night with my cigar.
I'm sure my red nose is probably not making me look too good right now, but I swear that's from something else.
Well, that's me just from being Irish, right? But I literally have, I would say, 2.5 ounces of alcohol a night. Japanese whiskey, yay or nay? Can I go in the middle and go, heh?
I like most of what Suntory does, right? So Hatsuzaki I bought recently, and it's okay, but Hibiki, I love Hibiki. I mean, it's like a peaty scotch. It's like a peaty scotch, and I like it. It's like I can see a wall of whiskey.
That right there is a bottle of Hibiki Harmony. Right there.
I'm a fan of Hibiki, and I've had, I guess, what is it, Nika coffee or whatever.
I've heard that's a good one.
I've not tried it. That's one that's always been on my list. But Hatsuzaki I got on a closeout at the ABC store a couple of months ago, and it was all right. Wasn't great.
I just had a company send me a bottle of...
Oh, wow. You're getting whiskey in the mail now. Hard knock life.
Well, yeah, I mean, whiskey and cigars, that's kind of my thing, right?
There's a local distillery that won't even reply to my emails.
This guy. Can you read that?
Hang on. Oh, there we go. Kura something. Kura Yoshi?
Yeah.
Yosha?
Kuryoshi. I'm probably destroying that. It smells really good. The problem is, generally screw off caps. It smells really sweet and good, though. Ooh.
MB Wild says, okay, boys, what's your one knife if you could only have one knife every day for the rest of your life?
Bug out.
Really?
Yep.
I'd go Sabenza, large Sabenza.
Well, I don't have a Sabenza, so if I had one of those, I have to only go off what I have experience with thus far. And I haven't.
I would say for me it's a toss up though, honestly.
Really? Sabenza or what else?
Hinder XM18.
Yeah, see, those are both knives I have no experience with. So if I'd had those, my opinion may change. From what I've heard,
you are to knives as I am to whiskey.
Right.
Yeah.
If I had experience with a Sabenza, I may feel that way because I've heard a lot of people say that's like the knife of knives, right? To date, though, my favorite knife, even though I love my PM2s, I love a lot of other knives, just for all around general, the bug out, I just love it, man. I love the axis lock. I love the size, the weight, the fact that it basically disappears in your pocket, but it's big enough to, accomplish most tasks. I just love it. The action's really smooth. I
think the Sabenza is on it's on a totally different level as far as QC goes and build quality. So
did you watch
and
that
warranty?
Video? Did you watch that video that they did on Blade HQ when they went to Sabenza factory?
No.
It's been a couple months back, I guess. Dude, I got a whole new respect for Sabenzas after watching that. The tolerances and how anal he is about like the way those knives come out of the factory and the additional steps they do to make sure those things operate at the tightest tolerances is very impressive.
Yeah, I am so excited to go to Grimsmo. Yeah. As soon as this travel ban's lifted, I'm in Canada, dude.
Hey?
Yeah, sorry, not dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm in Canada, eh? And that's not making fun of you guys in Canada. I like you guys in Canada.
I'm going to make a road trip of it, and I'm going to go see Peter and Grimsmo, which they're not that far away from each other. So they're both Toronto area.
If I go to Toronto, I almost have to stop and see my buddies, the Bourbon Junkies, because they're in Michigan. But shit, man, I didn't realize how close Michigan is to Toronto. It's not far. It's a couple hours, probably.
Not even. I mean, it's like an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
So
if I'm that close to them and I don't stop by and see them, they're going to be mad at me. So I would have to do like a loop and see everybody. I think
Have
my
you
plans
ever-
for 2020 are not to do that shit though.
Dude, my plans for 2020 are shot.
Mhm.
How many times have I told you that 2020 is my year?
Oh yeah, me and you both said that at the beginning of the year. We're going to travel. I was going to come see you. We were going to go do some road trip shit, go see a bunch of other YouTubers, and now it's like, okay, fuck that.
Yeah, now we're just like, okay, I'm gonna sit in this office every day for the rest of my life.
For the rest of 2020, at least, till they get this shit under control. I'm not going to get into the whole Corona thing because it's just saturated in the news. But 10,000 cases in Florida. Okay, people in Florida are fucking crazy. I'm not leaving the house.
Have you ever thought about doing a narf?
See, being on a podcast with me is affecting your speech.
Oh my god, what are we doing? Knife sharpening video. Yes.
You did one.
Well, I did a video on WorkSharp, but WorkSharp was actually supposed to come here to my office and do a video with me, several videos with me, and coronavirus. So,
and Corona.
and I'm not great enough at sharpening to be any authority speaking on how you should sharpen. I could more easily make a video on how not to sharpen your knives, such as the last time I did a live stream. Actually, the very last time I did a live stream, I had, I think, 2 or 3 pretty heavy IPAs, like 8-9% alcohol. I had not eaten in like 12 hours. And I was like, well, I'm kind of buzzed. I can't drive home. Might as well sharpen my knife. And I pulled out my Pena. And I put it on the WorkSharp at 17 degrees. And that is not a knife you want to sharpen at 17 degrees. I fucked it all up. And I sold it. I was like, nope, out of here. And I bought another one.
Why would you pick that knife? Why wouldn't you grab like a
dude,
Tenacious or something?
I was buzzed and I'm like, this is a good idea.
This is a good, hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Spoiler alert. It was not a good idea.
Spoiler alert. I straight jacked it up.
And look, Chris, who I sold it to, he said, don't worry, I fixed it. I'm sure you did, Chris. I'm sure you did.
Is he good with the sharpener?
No way. It's Chris.
I use a
Chris, by the way, is one of my Discord mods.
I use an Apex Edge Pro or an Edge Pro Apex. It's kind of like a, what do they call those ones where the angle's locked?
Set angle.
Yeah. And it does pretty well. I would like to get one of the ones that the blade clamps. The one I have, you can still, the angle of the stone stays locked, which is nice, but you could still, if you're not careful with your hand, you can still screw your bevel up. I'd really like to get one of those wicked edge jobs, but man, they're so absurdly expensive.
They are. Hang on one sec. You can keep talking.
Yeah. It's hard for me to even recommend that sharpener to anybody just because it's so expensive. I mean, I think it's like $700 for one of those sharpeners, which I don't know how you guys feel, but to me, $700 seems a bit damn absurd for a knife sharpener. Let's see. What else we got? I got any comments in here to read? BC Canada just got back. I can barely see, man. My old man eyes don't read this far away very good unless Taylor puts it up on the thing.
What do you need me to put up?
No, I was just trying to read some comments while you were. KM sharpening system is what you were talking about, around 200.
KME, yeah.
No, KME, yeah, no, that's one I was looking at. That's kind of like the Wicked Edge one. The Wicked Edge is kind of like a upgraded version of the KME. I don't know if you'd call it upgraded because it kind of does the same thing, but I think
it's got so many more stones than KME.
It's got more stones. You could do stones or diamond. I think the knife goes straight, or the knife is pinched up instead of on a side like this. So you actually sharpen both sides of the knife. It's got like these, let me move this out of my way. It's got like these 2 arms on either side. So you kind of do it like this and it sharpens both sides at the same time. So it's kind of quicker. But fuck, it's expensive. I think it's like $700 for the full kit.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That's nuts, man.
It's not cheap.
Mm-hmm. You are right.
Yeah, so just wanted to show by example here. Actually, it's in this. For the guy that asked, I mean, I know you guys know, but
what you got?
I'm going to break them out anyway because I wanted to switch to the Sabenza. Anyway, Sabenza, they would be between these two.
Is that a small or is that a full size?
Oh, that's a large, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and that's the 3.5-inch XM18.
The new Sabenzas look dope.
They do. I'm still kind of on the fence about this one. I want another small Sabenza.
Really? I'm not into the small one. I think the small one's a little too small for what I prefer.
The small is close in size, I think, to the Chamois.
The small is like smaller than a bug out, right?
They're about the same size.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's not a zero tolerance. That's an actual hinder. So, zero tolerance uses a bunch of hinderer designs, but this is a actual hinderer.
How do you feel about
such good ergonomics?
Zero tolerance knives.
I've had one or two, I think just one maybe, and I'm not a huge fan. I think they're okay. I think they're okay, but I'd rather have a Spyderco.
See, my thing about zero tolerance is I'm not saying anything bad about the company. I've heard they make excellent knives. They use good materials, like all that. I just don't love the design of any of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. Well, they've got a lot of hinderer designs, but I'd rather just have a hinderer.
Yeah.
Like you could buy a zero tolerance with a hinderer design for like $2 something, maybe $280, $250. You could buy a real used hinderer, which is going to have a great warranty and probably better QC. Or zero tolerance is really good QC, but even better from hinderer. And it's just I think a better knife. And one thing you get with these, especially the new ones, you probably can't see that logo on the flipper tab. It's on this side actually, right there. So they have a tri-way pivot. So if I think I have phosphor bronze washers in here. You can swap it out for Teflon or for bearings.
Bearings.
So you can put this on bearings if you want.
I love a knife on bearings, man. I'm not going to lie. Knife. I saw somebody ask if I've done any woodworking lately. No, I haven't had time to, man. I've had to kind of scrap that. I do love doing it and getting out there and working with my hands. I enjoy it. It's relaxing. But right now, I stay just as busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and I don't have time to get out there.
What would that even be? A metaphor? An analogy? I don't know.
Southern speak, man. Southern people have all kinds of weird shit like that.
I got some PM2s, man.
That's one of my favorite knives, man. You know, Pete does not like the PM2 very much.
Well, Pete's been wrong before.
He's not a huge fan of the PM2. I think they're great, man. I love a PM2. It's one of my favorite knives.
He doesn't like any of my whack-ass watches either.
Is that what he says?
Those are his words.
I'm not a lot of the watches you get, I'm not a huge fan of. You have a little bit of different, but I mean, it's not that I dislike them. There's a lot of watches out there and people have different taste, right? Like it's some of the stuff you really dig isn't my kind of thing. Ooh, that's a sexy bitch right there.
It's a big knife, dude.
That's a micro.
So big.
Not a Microtech. That's a
Protec.
Protec.
These aren't out yet. Well, actually, no, they are. They released this past week. I've had it for a little bit.
I also saw someone in there ask if a Civivi Elementum was a good budget knife, and my answer to that, it might be one of the best budget knives.
Yeah. Dude, do you know they launched an S35 version this past week?
No.
S35 and a jade scale.
Is it more expensive?
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
Yeah. So I never carry them, but I have these two.
They're great knives, man. For the money, arguably one of the best knives out there. For the money. I mean,
do you want to watch people get tilted?
People are going to get bent. What are you about to do?
Best knife money can buy right now.
I can't see it. What is that?
James brand, the Carter.
Oh,
$150 knife with VG10.
For a second, I thought it was a.
That's how you tilt. That's how you tilt some people.
I thought it was a dapper. I do like.
You need one of these, dude.
I've got all. Yeah, I'd probably do just to carry stuff. I've got all mine in like my closet. I've got drawers in my closet, like pull out, like.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
And then it's got take that out. It's got another compartment in the bottom. It'll hold 19 knives, which is really kind of an odd number. I mean, it is technically, physically an odd number, but it's also just a strange number to choose.
I mean, why wouldn't they have just made it carry one more and done 20? done 10 per shelf or per level.
I don't know, but this thing is sick. I've just not carried it because, well, slant pockets are the devil.
I'm considering okay, we got to get into that. Okay, you go fuck yourself about the slant. No, I'm just kidding. Look, here's the thing about slant pockets. I've never lost anything out of a slant pocket personally. I get what you're saying with that, and if that had happened to me, I would probably feel the same way about slant pockets because that would bum me out. I've never dropped anything out of mine, but what I do like about slant pockets is the fact that you can fit more in them. They're roomy. They're not all tight.
I don't want shit in my pockets,
and I can get into them when I'm sitting down. I don't have to when you've got jeans, you got to do this to get into your pocket. This is getting into your pocket with jeans on. That's a huge pain in the ass. This
is coming from a guy who's clearly never worn stretchy jeans.
I do wear stretchy jeans because I'm getting old and my belly needs a little stretch.
If they're stretchy, you can just kind of stretch them up and put your hand in there. It's not that hard.
Stretch that much. Dude, stretchy jeans did change my life. I'm not going to lie. Because
they're not wearing the right stretchy jeans.
They're just way more comfortable, man.
Hell yeah. And I won't wear non-stretchy shorts either.
My Dickies aren't.
I won't touch them. You couldn't pay me to wear them.
Dude, Dickies are the best.
Depending on what the price was, I would wear them. But I mean, stretchy shorts are the way to go.
Dude, let me tell you something. Dickies makes some fantastic shorts. I mean, you could put these things are made almost like fire hose. Like they're durable. I mean, they may not be the most fashionable. I don't know. I'm not really all that concerned about being extremely fashionable. But I mean,
clearly.
People have been wearing Dickies for how long? I mean, shit, dude. Dickies have been around forever.
Steven
said, Levi's.
Steven said, Jeremy, I'm with you. Carried a Norseman in shorts and not had any problems. I've never had something clipped to my pocket fall out.
Right.
I'm talking about something I've put in my pocket and it just slides out.
What?
Swiss Army knife. I've lost Swiss Army knives because they just slide out of my pocket and they're gone.
Here's the thing, though. Swiss Army knives, they're kind of slick, right? That's why I always carry my Swiss Army knife in one of those hitch and timber slips of some nature. A, it keeps it from just rattling around in my pocket, and B, it has a little pin slip, so it allows me to kind of have a pin and a Swiss Army knife all in one little. But here's the thing. These Dickies, you're going to make me get up.
Oh, it's going to focus on your mic, too.
It's going to focus on my crotch. They have a little utility pocket down here. So you got your main pocket, plenty of room. Got my AirPods in there. Got my knife clipped in there. And then I don't have it in here now because I'm at home. But normally when I'm going anywhere, down in this pocket, I mean, it's big enough you could fit. I usually put a little hitch and timber slip with like a secondary knife and a pin and stuff. But I mean, you could fit your wallet in there if you wanted to.
God, what a Dickies shill.
Fuck you, whoever said that.
Me, I said that.
Oh. I thought it was a comment.
No.
I mean, I can't be a Dickies shell. I have no connection with that company. They don't pay me or send me free shit. And you can get them at Walmart for like $18. They're not expensive.
Okay, so since we're doing this, where'd my knife go? So this is how I had my setup earlier today. Oh, we're not going to be able to see it. I'm too high. Anyway, TPT, just right there. Nice. I started using the absolute crap out of the fifth pocket in these shorts. So in here.
Yeah, see how hard it is to get shit out? That's because you got them fucking tight-ass pants.
No, I just had them all. I pulled them all at the same time. Just truck fob, squirt PS4, and the little TI mini pin. Mm-hmm. Flashlight right here, and my wallet back here, and that's it. Oh, and AirPods.
Dude, where do you carry your phone?
I have to carry a mask. They're mandated.
Oh dude. I didn't tell you this, and I mentioned it in both my EDC updates, but you gave this to me, so I have to say this on a forum with you here. My back pocket never leaves.
Nice. Phone stays front left pocket. Always.
See, I went to a back pocket carry on my phone, and I really like it because it actually fits better in a back pocket. And then somebody was like, yeah, but don't you sit on it? And I don't ever sit. Whenever I sit, I take it out because whenever I'm sitting, I'm probably going to be using my phone or I want access to it. So whenever I go to sit down, I just take it out of my back pocket and I hold it or I put it in my lap or whatever. But it usually rides in my back right pocket. And I saw somebody said, where are the L pockets? These particular Dickies don't have that. Not all Dickies have the a flat spot on the pocket. The ripstop ones that I did in the video, these are more the traditional just Dickies. They still have the utility pocket, but they're just standard slant pockets.
Devil pockets, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, man. If I'd ever had that happen, that would bum me out. And because I joked around on the video that now that I've said that I'm going to lose something for sure, it's Murphy's Law. But in 42 years, I've never had anything fall to my slant pockets and lose it. Yeah.
In case anybody was wondering, we do have a mask mandate here. This is recycled firefighter.
Oh, nice. I have one downstairs that I wear that's made of bamboo.
Oh, nice. We have some medical masks, and I have a stack of them in my truck just in case, but this doesn't really fit my head very well, so I have a Topo Designs mask on the way.
Have you ever had anything made of bamboo?
Yes, I hate it.
Really?
I had bed sheets made of bamboo, and they were the worst.
It's like stretchy and soft and awesome. It makes a good mask.
You are right about this thing being smooth. Mine doesn't drop shut though.
Dude, I think it's because I was thinking about it. Because there's no liner, you've got phosphor bronze bushings against copper. And those two materials must just be like butter together because it is smoother than a normal PM2.
It is half a pound though.
Yeah, dude, it's a heavy girl. That's what I'm saying.
It is literally half a pound.
They did some milling on it. If you look in there,
a little bit.
Yeah.
They did a little bit. The Flytanium scales had a lot more milling done.
Oh, did they? I didn't have the copper Flytaniums. I had
I literally just sold mine because I was like, this is too heavy. And then Zach's like, I got something you're really going to like. And I'm like, I wonder what it is. And then I checked my P.O. box and it's this. And I'm like, I literally just sold my copper PM2.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask.
But it is still really good. And I like the Rex 45. I might do a blade swap with one of my others though, because I think it's the exact same blade.
What do you think about acid washing that blade?
I wouldn't do it. It's not stainless. I don't know what acid etching is going to do to Rex 45.
I don't know what it's going to do either, which is why it bums me out. But that would look really good with that copper with an acid etched blade.
But it's a non-stainless blade, so it may make it rust more. It might make it rust less. Like it just, I don't know.
Well, supposedly the acid etching is supposed to, if you don't bead blast it and stuff like you did, supposedly it adds an oxide layer and it's supposed to help with rust, right? Now, one of the guys commented on my video and said that he's had a problem with Rex 45 rusting.
Well, yeah, it will. It's not stainless. So you have to keep it oiled, but you can patina Rex 45.
So it kind of gets like a buck knife or an old case or whatever where it gets.
I'll show you. Hang on.
Because here was my retort to him. Can you still hear me or did you just unmic or unheadphone? My retort to him was, I've had this thing for a couple weeks now. Our humidity here in Florida has been like, because he said he took it out, had it for like not this particular knife, but he had a Rex 45 knife. And he said where he was at, it was humid. Within a couple days, he got some rust. Okay, so that kind of patina that you get like on a fall.
It's got like a blue hue to it. It's really hard to see on this, but
no, I can see it. And they look good. The older they get, they look even better.
Yeah.
But he said his didn't really.
It's not rust, it's patina. It looks kind of like rust here, but it's not.
I've had this thing for a couple weeks now. I live in Florida. Our humidity has been through the roof, and this thing has not one speck of rust on it.
Well, if you cut an apple with it and let it sit for just a little bit, it'll start to patina.
I've seen guys actually force patina that way. They just stick it in an apple and let it sit like overnight, and it'll. You know, I've seen videos of people trying to do that. But anyway, I had thought about doing.
But you know for sure I'm going to rust the shit out of Rex 45.
Yeah, I see one guy said let it happen naturally. Yeah, I'm probably going to. Only reason I was thinking about
natural. I cut up steaks and chicken with this, and that's how.
Bro,
that's how,
speaking of that,
you can see it a little better there where it's got blue and like red hues to it.
It almost looks like bluing on a gun.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, that's my new thing, dude. I always cut my steak with my pocket knife. And people look at me kind of crazy, but it works so much better.
Yeah.
It works.
Wait, that little slip joint that I was just showing you, You want to see how big that is?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the PM2.
Holy shit, that's a big slip joint.
I know. I didn't realize it was that big when I bought it. It's a beaver tail. It's a 4-inch blade.
I use my main pocket knife. Now I'll wipe it off with a washcloth real quick before I use it to cut food, because in case I've been like opening boxes, I'm not going to go cut a steak with tape residue. But I keep my knives really sharp. So
that's why you have these for boxes,
right?
You got a couple of them now. You're welcome.
I do. I appreciate that, my friend. They're good. I will use them.
I'm out of beer. This is a tragedy.
I still got some whiskey.
I'm going to go grab another beer.
But it really is. If any of you guys have not tried cutting your steak with your pocket knife, well, if you don't keep if you're one of those guys that has a pocket knife that wouldn't cut fucking butter, then don't do it. But if you're like me and Taylor and a lot of people that like to keep a nice edge on your pocket knife, works fantastic for cutting your steaks.
Yeah, I tend to cut all of my food with some knife that I have. Typically not a kitchen knife. Because all of my kitchen knives suck.
I have good ones. They're pretty decent kitchen knives, but they're just not as sharp as my pocket knives, dude. Those things will shave dolphin fur.
Where do you get all these sayings from?
That's some fine ass fur. You ever seen a fur on a dolphin? You can shave dolphin fur. You're doing all right.
What? Oh my God. Who is this guy? And can you...
Who's A5?
Yeah, AS.
Fuck the cops, pussies. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I put him in timeout.
Is he getting aggressive up in this piece? Don't be getting aggressive up in here, bro.
We're gonna have to get on YouTube and create some people, like some mods. So I know we can trust John. Wait, I gotta switch accounts. I'll do this when I get back. I'm getting another beer.
All right. I haven't been looking on YouTube because there's a weird delay on YouTube. Yeah, see, YouTube is like... See, you're still sitting here if I'm looking at YouTube. There's a quite a large delay on YouTube. I have to watch it on Streamyard because it's weird on YouTube. Taylor and Jeremy, what did you guys think about the banter? Which one? There one this week. I don't think I've seen the one this week yet, so I'm not for sure. You're talking about knife banter this week? There was somebody asking what we thought about knife banter this week, I think is what the question was, but I have not watched it this week yet.
I have not either. I made John Smith a moderator.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I'm looking for poker.
I do watch knife banter just about every week, or I watch all Blade HQ stuff just about every week. But I've been behind this week because I've been busy, and I have not caught up on my YouTube stuff.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything really this week other than Idiots in Cars and Karen Rage compilations.
Dude, you sent me that one of that girl putting fucking gasoline in a grocery bag, and I was like, what is she doing?
Oh, it's a real thing, guys. It happened, and I don't know how or why, but it did happen.
God damn, dude. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Should I show that?
Army? No. Army is supplying U.S. Benchmade.
Oh, God. Are we going to get on a Benchmade kick now?
Oh, God, please. If anybody's going to get on that. Jeremy, you got me addicted to Hitch and... Dude, Hitch and Tipper makes some solid stuff, man. That's another leather company that I'm a huge fan of. He does some really good stuff. It's good quality leather at patinas, and you guys all know I'm a patina freak, but nice. Another one. He's going, just don't sharpen any knives later, bitch. You're on number 2, so you're going to have to calm down.
This is a double. So it's a double IPA. It is 8.8%, so that one will sneak up on you.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. I think we need some Whiskey Knife Fight shirts. That's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of figured we should start the podcast first.
Yeah.
Since we have 108 people watching, I have a question. And I'm going to pose this question in the form of a photo that I'm going to share. I just got to find it first, so give me a second.
No offense, Ben. Knife. Did anyone have pre-order?
Where is it? That's the question.
Jeremy, your thoughts on Glenfiddich? I'm not a big Glenfiddich guy. I have not had a lot of it. I know it's an extremely popular Scotch, and I need to give it another go. Last time I tried it, I wasn't big into Scotches. I am historically a bourbon guy, being from Kentucky, and getting into Scotch was a little weird for me at first because I was so rooted in those bourbon flavors that Scotch kind of threw me off for a while. I like it now, especially the Islas, like the Ardbegs and stuff. So I keep meaning to give Glenfiddich another try because I know that's a hugely popular one. But at this point, my experience to this point has been a little with it.
Where was that photo I shared? Oh, here we go.
What are your thoughts on Michner's? I fucking love Michner's.
Michter's
is, and I always say it wrong. I know it's Michter's, but I always say Michner's just because that's how it comes out of my mouth. But I don't know if you can see, am I in the way?
Michter's rye.
Like all this, there's like 4 or 5 bottles of Michter's over here. Dude, if you ever find a bottle of toasted barrel strength rye, get it. Michter's toasted barrel strength rye is freaking delicious.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah, go.
So I've been thinking about dropping this tomorrow. This new knife shirt design for July 4th, right? Like
I dig it.
It feels right, but I'm not sure.
People aren't going to get it by the 4th though, will they?
No. No. Printful's like,
dude, Printful. I put all my shirts to sold out because it became such an issue. People were getting pissed off. Like, most people are being super cool and patient, but there's some people that are getting aggravated, and I understand. I mean, it's a weird situation, but
well, I would have to do this with some sort of disclaimer that Printful's turnaround is like 20 days right now.
Dude, it doesn't matter. I have a disclaimer this big at the top of my. I put it on the first fucking part of the merch page. It's this big. You physically have to scroll through the disclaimer to get to the t-shirts. And I still get people that 2 days after they order them are like, why haven't I got a shipping notice? And I'm like,
I had a dude call me. He called me and I never answer if I don't know the number. So it went to voicemail and he's like, I placed an order and I'd like to know where it is. And I'm like, what? So I searched his name in my carry commission orders and I'm like, this dude straight up has my number. How?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, how does he have my number? And I texted him back. I was like, don't know what happened, but
how'd you get my number?
Here's the status of your order. And he's like, thanks.
No, most people have been really cool, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it. And I get it. It's frustrating. But I mean, it's just one of those things, man. Corona has got a lot of businesses really screwed up right now. And the shipping time, I think prior to this whole Corona thing, Printful, it was normally 2 to 3 days they had stuff shipped out. Now they're running as long as 20 days for shipping. So, I mean, I just put everything to sold out for now because I'm switching off Printful anyway to Bunker Branding. And they've got some new designs going for me. And I'm hoping they're saying their shipping times are better. So we'll see.
Do you like the blue better? The red, white, and blue? Or this one?
Yeah. Well, can I see it on the whole shirt or do you not have a whole shirt with it?
I don't have the whole shirt with the blue.
I mean, the red, white, and the blue definitely looks more America.
Yeah.
But
it might be a limited July 4th drop.
But because I mean, that could be like, I think you kind of have to go red, white, and blue, right?
Jeremy posted your number on Instagram.
I for sure did not.
I don't know. He said it. It might be true.
I mean, I might have posted it on Grindr, but
what a dick.
I didn't post it on that. Yes, Bunker is Matt Shop. They started. They moved into the new building and they used to only do huge YouTubers with gigantic channels, and they started working with smaller creators such as myself. So I am trying to partner up with them and do some stuff with them moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll have some new shirts dropping here in the next week or two. There's some really cool designs. I'm pretty excited about them.
John said, got to start with a red stripe though. For what it's worth, a Romanian designed this. So I have the Illustrator file. I would switch it all up before I published, but yeah.
Let's see. Jeremy, what do you recommend for a new whiskey and cigar smoker? Also love the editing brother. Sorry if I'm like squinting. Yeah, hey, there it is. I can see that a lot better. Well, dude, my computer honestly is like, I mean, it's kind of far away from me. If you know,
you should have your bifocals on.
Yeah, right. Be like, I got my contacts.
Do that face again. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
Screenshot that. I'll get a. There will be a.
That'll be the thumbnail.
There will be a meme.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
This Double Oaked is a great first whiskey. I recommend that to a ton of people. It's super approachable. It's not real high proof, so it's not going to blow your palate out or kick your ass. It's got a good amount of sweetness to it. Any of the Michter stuff is a good starter. Michter's American whiskey is a very, very good, smooth drinking, good bourbon. So something like that. That's usually probably top two things I usually recommend to people that are new.
I'd second that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And again, Michter's Rye, dude.
Michter's Rye is tasty, man. It's very sweet. Another one actually is Woodford Reserve Wheated. If you can get their wheated, I don't know if you've ever had their wheated, but it's also a very easy drinking.
You know what? Screw it. Your starter whiskey should be Jefferson's Aged at Sea.
No.
It's like, what, 66% or something like that? Dude, woo!
Dude, I got one up there that's like, they call it hazmat. It was a bottling of George Stagg from several years back, and I think it's 67%. I think.
Chris K said, "What's the best rust-resistant knife to carry for work?" Right here, and everybody's going to be mad because I'm going to talk about this. But
the Spyderco, man, the Ocean, isn't it called the Ocean?
They have some H1 knives.
Yeah, those are like the most rust-resistant, right?
There's also the Spidey Chef, which is LC200N, but this right here, Quiet Carry Drift. This is Van X steel, and it is probably one of my favorite knives right now, but it's rust resistant. Like, it is very rust resistant. Are you still there? Or you look like a looping GIF.
I was trying. I see my cigar was out. Too much talking, not enough puffing. My cigar went out. I don't.
Talking too much? No.
Well, dude, that's why a podcast works for me. There's no dead air when you got me on this bitch, because I will talk and talk and talk.
That is true. Earlier today, I told Jeremy that I'm giving him a new nickname, and it's Jeremy Really Quick Sears.
Mm-hmm.
Sears.
You got to give some context for that. They're gonna think by that name. They're gonna think I'm a 2-pump chump. They're not gonna think that.
Oh well, I mean, aren't you? Also, I'm gonna always call you Sears now because of Siri. So in my truck, if I say call Jeremy Sears, it says calling Jeremy Sears.
Well, my buddy Dan from Bourbon Junkies calls me Jeremy Sears.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole story behind the Really Quick thing is every time I call Jeremy, because Jeremy never really calls me. It's usually me calling Jeremy, usually with like, hey, I need to tell you this one thing and I got to go. Or I got a quick question. I got to go.
That's not going to work.
3 hours later, for like the 20th time, I'm like, Jeremy, I got to get going. I've got stuff to do. And Jeremy's like, yeah, I'll let you go. But really quickly, every time until Jeremy has to go. And then finally something comes up and Jeremy's like, hey man, I got to go. I'll call you back later.
Well, I'm like, one of my kids just ran across like on fire. I'm like, I think I just saw flames in one of my children. I've got to go.
Yeah.
I saw a question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I saw a question I wanted to answer. Adam McAlpine. Is that McAlpine? Is that how you say it?
McAlpine.
That's a sweet last name. Why did I get away from Cigar Oasis for my humidor? That's an interesting question, which is why I wanted to answer it. It's not that, oh, look who it is. Bourbon Junkies. Oh shit. It's live. Hell yeah. So excited for this. What is up? I don't know if that's Dan or Sean, but either one of you or both my brothers. Happy you're on here.
I am breaking the golden rule of being on Whiskey Knife Fight podcast and drinking a double IPA.
Dan and or Sean, whoever you are, it's on here. Please pay no attention to my podcasting co-host. He's a dumbass for drinking fucking beer on a whiskey night fight. My friends, have a little bit of, come on now, I'm representing. But anyway.
That's actually sweet tea.
Yes, no, it's not. She saw me pour it. I got away from it because for simplicity's sake, right? It's always Dan, let's be honest. I thought Dan was going out of town. That's why I thought it might be Sean. But maybe he's logged in out of town. If he's logged in out of town, that's fucking dedication. I love you, son. I got away from it for simplicity's sake, right? The Cigar Oasis is a machine, right? So Taylor, if you don't know, Cigar Oasis is like a little machine that you put in your humidors to keep humidified. It's got a little circuit board computer in there that it reads the humidity in the humidifier or the humidor. And there's a water reservoir and there's a fan that comes on that blows humidity out when the humidity gets below a certain range, so forth and so on, to keep your humidity right.
The only thing I heard you say humidity and I like winced a little bit, but I heard you say fan, and then I had this instant dream where I was in a cooler place
and you weren't sweating your balls off it. But anyway, so because of the fact that it reads the humidity and then turns the fan on and off and controls the humidity in your humidor based on its reading, it kept losing calibration. You have to calibrate the hydrometer in that. And there was just too many fail points for me. Like if my humidity was jumping around, that it lost calibration several times and it just pissed me off. I found the easiest thing to do is Boveda packs. You throw some Boveda in there. It's no muss, no fuss. It's two-way humidification. So if it gets over humidified, the Boveda pulls in the humidity. If it needs humidity, they release it. You don't have to, it's not a mechanical thing that can break. You don't have to fucking calibrate anything. They just work. It's just for simplicity's sake.
Hey, where'd you get that Knife Life shirt?
What do you think?
I didn't get a Knife Life shirt. What the hell?
That's because they like me better than you.
They should like me more.
I know they should. No, I don't. No, they love you. Trust me. He sent it with Zach sent it to me with one of my packages. He threw it in there with one of my knife packages he sent me at some point. This is like my favorite by far Blade HQ shirt. I love this one.
I only have one Blade HQ shirt, and it's old and it's showing.
I have the gray one that's got like the Blade HQ blue and white logo on the front, and then this Knife Life one, and the Knife Life one's my favorite.
I have a package. I'm waiting on Printful really, but I have a package of like 7 or 8 shirts, all new Best MEDC designs, and that's why I haven't dropped anything. I'm just waiting on Printful to catch up. But I need new shirts, man. All of mine are. This one is cool. I love this shirt.
That's a good shirt. I like the design on that one.
This one's available right now. However, I don't like wearing it because if I stand back a little bit, see if you guys notice anything about this shirt. Center line.
Oh yeah, it's crooked. Yeah. Well, but I mean that's the design, right? Like it's not that the design's crooked; it's that the blade's kicked on purpose.
No, it is, but they printed it about 1.5 inches off center.
Yeah, see, I had that with one of my shirts. We went back and forth. What Dan say here? Nah, spend this as a platform. I'm so excited. This sometimes in the future, maybe you collab. Oh, definitely. We need to have you guys on here one night for sure.
Hey, somebody else knows something about whiskey. That'd be great.
You can help me educate my boy over here. He'll help. Dan and Sean just got into knives. Dude, tell me how. This is what I talk about Dan and Sean all the time, right? These motherfuckers. I love them. I say this, Printful delays are a nightmare right now. Yeah, dude, they're a fucking nightmare. Dan and Sean, great channel. Their fans are ravaged, just rabid. They get some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like their fans, somebody sent them 2 Spyderco paramilitary 2s with copper scales that they engraved with Bourbon Junkies on it.
Oh,
dude. That's super nice. Nobody's ever sent me some shit like that. That's awesome. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's fine. I don't expect anybody to send me anything, but that's super generous and awesome.
I mean, I kind of sent you two of these.
You're not a subscriber though. You're my boy. Like we do things, you know.
I subscribe to your channel. Do you not subscribe to mine? What a dick.
Of course I do. Of course I do. How else can I put mean comments on it? No, just kidding.
That's true.
I got some stuff coming your way. You know, we both got some exciting shit coming out.
Oh, is that right? You got stuff coming my way?
Well, dude,
You've been saying that for about 3 months.
well, but the stuff that's coming out with this, I'll just have to ship it right to you.
Oh, okay.
You don't
so
have
if somebody else is handling the fulfillment, it's great.
Yeah. If I've got to make it to the store to ship it, I'm going to forget it for 3 months. But if it's getting shipped directly from the people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Have a good night, John. Glad to see you pop in here. Well, we'll have to have you on at some point.
Oh, that's John, awesome Swiss Army John.
Yes, it's Brassworks.
Yeah, dude. His shit is next level. I have to say. I've never been able to get any of it because it's always sold out because it's so popular, but next level stuff.
He's got some good stuff.
Dude, his Swiss Army knives were the first ones that made me start looking for like customizing Swiss Armies. I had never thought about customizing a Swiss Army knife till I saw his stuff. And then I was like, oh, I'm like, look at this shit. This is like a totally different thing. I didn't even know this was a possibility.
Yeah. John, I'm going to need some custom work here soon. I know you might be gone, but I'm going to need a cadet with some scissors.
Cadet with scissors.
That would be the perfect Swiss Army knife. Get rid of the reamer it's not a reamer on a Swiss Army knife. It's a nail file. No, that's not what I need. A cadet with scissors would be sweet. What I actually want.
No.
It's a bottle opener, can opener, knife, and a nail file.
That's what it is. You're right.
What I want is a cadet sized knife, which I think is 88 millimeters. I can't remember the exact millimeters, but the smaller cadet size with scissors. So another layer, but not replace any of the tools.
Do they have cadets that aren't ALOX?
No.
So all the cadets are ALOX?
Yep. Just like all the Pioneers and the Pioneer X and the Farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are exclusively ALOX knives. But you have like the Mini Champ, which can be ALOX or the plastic scales, which I hate the plastic scales. I really don't like them.
I don't like the plastic scale. I like the ALOX. I wish they patinaed. But I like them.
It's aluminum. It's not going to patina. It's aluminum.
That's what I'm saying. It bums me out. What does it say? Jeremy, do you know why the UK cigar market, what is that? Click on that one, Taylor. I can't see shit. So lacking mini sticks and compare. You know, that's a good question. I know over there, and I could be wrong if I'm misspeaking, then correct me. But I think you guys get a shit ton of Cuban stuff over there because there's not the embargoes we have here in the U.S. I'm assuming you don't get the same cigars we get here due to some kind of regulations with shipping. And I know certain countries have like taxes and shit that makes it kind of difficult to import stuff. I'm assuming it has something to do with that. I know I've heard people from Australia tell me that cigars we pay like $8 for, they have to pay like $30 a piece for there. And I'm like, holy shit.
Well, that's Australia in general.
Right. So I'm assuming it has something to do with regulations and shipping and stuff, and it not being feasible for the manufacturers to get it over there. But I don't really know firsthand. That's just me pulling that out of my ass.
Sorry, not sorry about the fan break. I had to have it. Bourbon Junkies, Benchmade Bug Out or Spyderco Paramilitary 2, PM2 all day. Jeremy's going to disagree with me, but it's okay. You can be wrong, Jeremy.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know that I fully disagree with you. I said when somebody asked me what my only knife was, I would say Benchmade Bug Out. But I fucking love a Paramilitary 2. It is right up there with the Bug Out. I can't pick, man. I can't.
PM2 for one reason, ergonomics, man.
Yeah,
it just it fits the hand.
You know what?
The Bug Out doesn't.
I'm gonna have to go with you. That the ergonomics and the Spidey hole. I much prefer to Spidey flick a knife than use a thumb stud. Yep, I'm gonna go with you on that.
Can I tell you one gripe I have about this?
Which knife is that? I can't see it.
This is the Quiet Gary Drift I was talking about recently, or like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Not even. Spidey flicking, it's great. You cannot thumb flick this thing open.
Man,
you can't do it.
I got a Civivi knife recently that I cannot thumb flick to save my life.
And on their description for this, it says that you're supposed to use like a fluid motion, but you have to hold it really funny. And even then, I've got to like readjust my grip most times. So it is like Spidey flick only on the Quiet Carry Drift.
Now, I will say, Stephen M says bug out is only good with upgraded scales. Honestly, the stock scales are flimsy.
Don't listen to anything Steven says. He's a moron.
Well, here's the thing. I will agree with him. I did not like the stock scales on the bug out. I thought they were flimsy too. That's why I put brass scales on mine. However, a lot of people disagree and say that is the kind of benefit because it's so light with the stock scales. That was kind of the point of the bug out, right? Is to be ultra light. This is
the best of both worlds.
Right. That's not as light as the stock though, is it?
Stock is 1.8 ounces. This is, I think, 2.3 or 2.4 ounces. So really it's not that much different, but it's titanium. It's super, super strong and still super lightweight.
I love those scales he did, by the way.
This is the best bug out.
Bourbon Junkie, he said, yes, that is the limited one that just came out, Dan. That, and you know what? I think I'm wrong. I think I said somebody sent them paramilitary 2s, and I think I was wrong. I think someone sent them bug outs with copper scales that were engraved, not paramilitary 2s. I think I lied. Either way, really generous and awesome. But yes, those limited drops they sold out in 30 minutes, Dan. 30 minutes.
Steven is right about one thing. They used a titanium lock bar on the bug out, which we're not going to focus here. And it creates a lot of grittiness when you're closing it sometimes. The bug out will go through a couple of phases. Like when you get it, it will be just smooth as glass. And then for a while, it'll be gritty and awful. And then it'll be smooth as glass again.
Really?
And then, yeah, because it's a coated titanium and you're going to wear that coating off. And then when it's raw titanium on the lock interface, it gets really gritty. And then after that wears, it will go back to being very, very smooth, but it takes time. And then eventually your lock bar on your bug out will wear and it won't lock properly. Eventually, it's going to take a long time, but eventually it will. And your Omega springs can wear out, which I've broken 2 Omega springs on this bug out already. So. Okay, here's old Graybeard. What's Graybeard going to tell us?
What's that? I thought I had my bug out up here, but I don't. Mine, I have flicked to death, and it's still smooth. I never went through a gritty period with mine. I don't know why that is.
Well, if you always pull your axis lock back as it's closing, you'd never feel it. But if the lock bar is pushing against it, it's gritty.
Yeah, I always pull it back. Always. Or you can just avoid the whole thing and go with a, where is it? Where is the focus?
What's his name from Bourbon Junkies?
Dan.
This is the perfect middle ground between the PM2 and the bug out. This is a Para 3 lightweight. And this one is M390. So this is the perfect middle ground between the Para 2 or the PM2 and the bug out. Just if you were wondering.
You know, somebody had said to me the other day, because I had said in the video, because it's what Zach told me, that that was the first time they did a liner delete. And somebody was saying, no, they always do liner deletes on their lightweight series.
Yeah, so this only has 1 liner. I don't know if I can show that.
So see, there is a liner, though. It's not a liner delete.
There's a liner on one side, but not on the other.
Is it a liner, or is it just a locking mechanism for the compression lock?
It's a liner at the pivot.
Oh, maybe that's why they called it a true liner delete. I don't know. I just know Zach told me that was the first time they did a liner delete, and then somebody said, they corrected me and said, no, they always do liner deletes on their lightweight.
Yeah,
series.
this one's different. This one doesn't have liners, and everybody on Instagram was like, but they have to have a liner for the lock bar. No, you have a lock bar. You have a lock bar, but there's no liners whatsoever. So it is copper on phosphor bronze washers on both sides. There's no liner. There's just a lock bar.
Yeah.
On this, there is a liner at the pivot on one side right there. You can see it right there. That is a liner. And then you have the lock bar. So it is a little bit different. But the reason that this was so interesting for a lot of people is because that this means that there could be a paramilitary 2 lightweight.
That'd be super light.
Yeah.
Because it's a lighter knife anyway, because it's smaller, right?
So this is basically the R&D to make a lightweight paramilitary 2. Because the paramilitary 2 is already a very lightweight knife, but So is the Para 3, but the Para 3 lightweight is light as this bug out. It's not as light as the original bug out, but it's as light as this one.
Now, see, I don't
And
like
this is the same weight as the Para 3 lightweight.
Oh, okay, that's that one you put.
And it's full titanium. So
I prefer a 2 over a 3 personally.
I did too until I held this. The ergos on this are really good too, and it's super, super lightweight.
It's just a little smaller than what I prefer. It's a little, the blade's a little small. It's a little bit small.
It's about the same size as the bug out. It's a little bit shorter, but it fits better in the hand.
Yeah.
So what's your point?
It feels a little weird. It feels a little squatty. The blade does to me for some reason because it's kind of I don't like the look of it as much because it's shorter, but it's not any thinner. So the dimensions, it's kind of like a perfect triangle. I don't know. It's just something about it I don't like as much. It's not that I dislike it. I prefer the 2 over the 3.
I think if you held it, you would feel differently.
That's what she said. I had to do it.
I don't know about you, but
Somebody said that to me the other day. By the way, I say that I hate that fucking word.
Well, that is what I am right now. So
I don't want to know about your moisture level.
It's as high as Florida's humidity.
That's high, bro. That is high.
I'm definitely gonna have to get the air situation fixed in here before next week.
Yes,
you are. I am moist.
How many people are still hanging in here? We still got
101.
That's not bad for an inaugural episode. 100 people. I'm happy with that.
Where it's 2 idiots just talking without an agenda. That's amazing. That's
agenda,
amazing.
Just shooting the shit.
Especially because one of these guys is you.
You're not wrong. I'm not going to argue with that. I mean,
man,
I will not argue.
Foot, dick, bubble hair. I can't even say that without laughing.
Foot, dick, bubble hair
says, "I want to slap you for saying that word."
What word? Oh, moist. Yeah,
moist.
I want to slap him for saying that too. Foot, dick, bubble hair.
You're not moist. You have patina.
Moisture does create patina. Taylor has a special. I'm going to call it a trademarked or a what do you call it? Like a secret method. What do you call that?
It's a trade secret.
Trade secret. That's what I'm looking for how he patinas all his stuff. Would you like to tell people what it's called?
There's this little thing called butt sweat. Swamp ass.
Butt sweat patina.
That's how you really accelerate your patina process. Look at this. In fact, I have a leather wallet right now. I said I don't normally carry a leather wallet in the summer, and it's mainly because of that, but I have to do a video on Cave Leather Company, and this thing was totally veg tan leather, so not dyed at all. And look at that orange.
Nice. Did you put any neat's foot oil on it?
No, that is total butt sweat.
Because here's the thing. This thing is very new. I have not carried it much at all. And a little bit of neat's foot oil kind of just jump starts that, gets it past that like super light color that's a little too light for me if you got a natural one.
Yeah, this was skin toned like a week ago.
Right. And see, that skin tone's a little light. Like I want it to naturally patina. I want it to get its own patina naturally, but I just wanted to get past that super cream color because that kind of bugs me. And I watched a couple videos, guys talking about neat's foot oil, and also Michael suggested neat's foot oil. And
you
it just
kind of see a little bit of it there at the top, but I love this wallet.
Dude, I think going forward, I'm getting everything natural. I think all the leather products I get, I'm going to go natural with it because I just kind of like going through all the stages of the patina. I think it's kind of fun.
I think you should say that word. Actually, you know what? The whiskey knife fight game is going to be every time Jeremy says patina, take a sip of whiskey.
Dude, we talked about this on my channel. You can't
take a shot.
You for sure can't do that. People will have alcohol poisoning. People will be dying because of this. Like you can't. You can't.
So I have officially reached old age. I know I call you old a lot, but I have officially reached old age. And the first stage of that was last year, learning that I have scoliosis. Like most people figure that out when they're like 7 years old, but I didn't find out until I was 29. That I have a pretty gnarly case of scoliosis. I know how to manage it now, and I'm okay. But that was kind of rearing its head last week, and then my old age also reared its head last week. I was in the pool on Saturday with a couple of kids. Like I was in the pool with Eleanor. It was her first time in the pool. She was having the time of her life. And then we were with some of our other friends, and they have some kids. They have 3 boys. And their oldest, his name is Cronin. He was in the pool, and he was just kind of roughhousing me and shoving me and splashing me. And we were just having fun. And I decided it was time to splash back. So I took my hand like this, cupped it, and I went straight down onto the water. That's what I did. That's all I did. I just wanted to make that flunk and kind of splash him with it. And my shoulder dislocated.
You know, the funny thing about that is when you called and told me that, I laughed my ass off. I was like, welcome to past 30, motherfucker. How about it?
My shoulder popped out, and as it was underwater, it kind of popped back in, and I just saw white for about 10 seconds. And my brother-in-law and the family friend, they were both like, what happened? Are you okay? Because I apparently went even whiter than I already am. And I was like, my shoulder just popped out and then popped back in. And this, mind you, the best part of this is that not 10 minutes before this, my sister was swimming in the pool and her hip popped out. And she's a year and a half older than me. So she's swimming, her hip pops out, and she's like, Taylor, grab my foot and yank it as hard as you can. And I'm like, no. And then we start making old jokes about her. And then not 10 minutes later, I splash a kid in the pool. I splashed it. All I did was splash the water, and I dislocated my shoulder. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you that is because I literally just went like this right here, and my shoulder cracked. So I have full range of motion again. It doesn't hurt. It took about 4 days for me to be able to use it again. But man, I just moved my arm just a little bit, and it's like, pow! And it just,
when you get older, hits hurt a lot worse, man. You don't land as soft as you used to. Oh, and Dan said,
I'm also like
old as fuck. You see that? How about fuck you, Dan? Here's the thing.
That is a fist bump, Dan.
I might be older than you, bitch, but you've got more gray hair than me. So how about that? Suck on that, bitch.
Oh, man.
But yeah, actually, I don't know if he does have more gray hair than me. I got a lot of gray in my beard.
But yeah, I mean, I have had a couple of major injuries in my life, and I think all of them stem from the motorcycle. I had a little street bike, and I wrecked it once, and I think that's why I have scoliosis, because I went through screening as a kid and I didn't have it. There was no indicators that I had it, and then all of a sudden I wreck a motorcycle at age 18, and then back issues for the next 10 years. So I think the motorcycle wreck did that, but also the shoulder is compromised because I tore my AC joint loading the motorcycle. So
yeah, motorcycles in general, that's why I had to get rid. Well, there's a whole long story maybe we'll go into one day on the podcast about why I had to get rid of my motorcycle. But
I flipped mine end over end doing about 75. So
yeah, motorcycles are dangerous, bro. I mean, I loved riding, but motorcycles are dangerous. I mean, anybody who rides them will tell you there's 2 types of people that ride motorcycles: people that have dropped them and people that will drop them. You know what I mean? It's inevitable.
Dude, mine was 2 days in.
Yeah. I mean, they're dangerous. They're fun as shit, and everybody on the road's out to kill you. Like, that's the way I rode my motorcycle. I was always assuming everybody was trying to kill me because people do not pay attention. Dan,
absolutely.
I'm going to block you, Dan. Dan, I'm going to get the moderators to take care of you, son.
Hey, we do have a few moderators now. I put the Discord mods that I have.
I'm just kidding. Don't ever block Dan. He's my brother from another.
Wait, you said that about me?
I'm allowed to have more than one brother, bitch.
Wow.
You can have lots.
Oh.
I mean, you can have more than one brother. You'll like Dan. You guys haven't met yet, but you'll like him. Dan and Sean are good folks.
Oh, I got a text message from Alex not too long ago. I say not too long ago. It's an hour ago. We've been on this podcast for 2 hours.
Wrap it up, bitch. Is that what she said?
No. So I get notifications when my child is moving and stirring in the middle of the night, And Alex said, OMG, I laid Eleanor down an hour and a half ago, and I was wondering why she was still awake. And I was wondering that too, because it was like 9 o'clock and she was still crying in her crib. She normally, like, you lay her down, she's out. And Alex said, I went in there and she locked Stella in there. So our dog Stella, she locked Stella in the nursery. So
Stella's
our dog
not
is
the Boston, is it?
No. She's the lab boxer
okay.
mix. And she's got like serious anxiety issues. Like, she's on anti-inflammatories for her knees. She's on anxiety meds, all sorts of stuff. And like one person sets off a firecracker like a mile and a half away, and she hears this. And she's like for like 4 hours. Like, oh my God. She's just, ever since we lost her in the woods, she was the one that went missing for 11 days. Ever since it's like, she was very skittish before. She had issues before. Dude, that escalated everything so much. She is just, she's so hard. She's so hard to calm down. So if you lock her in a dark room like that and she has no way out, that dog was in there freaking out for an hour and a half, and it took Alex an hour and a half to realize that our dog was in there with Eleanor, and Eleanor wouldn't go to sleep.
Having a dog was having a hissy fit. Kids
Dude,
awake.
she was having a panic attack.
I figured out. I feel like a good way to gauge the podcast is a cigar. So when I get done with a cigar, the podcast, because it usually takes me an hour to 2 hours to smoke a cigar.
I would love to smoke a cigar in here, but
you might as well. I'm
in a non-ventilated room that is stuffy as hell already. I just don't feel like cigar smoke's going to help that situation at all.
Yeah, that might be rough if it's not ventilated.
It's not ventilated at all. It is.
I've got an air cleaner in here and an inline fan that pulls air out at 780 cubic feet a minute. So, I mean, it moves air.
Let's see what the current temperature in my office is. I might have to turn on my AC unit. But I'm feeling it. Let's see what it says. It might not come on. 83 degrees in my office right now.
Oh my God, I'd fucking have a stroke. I can't.
Dude, I am not enjoying it.
My balls would be sticking to my leg. You'd be having to get like a spatula and some pan to get it unstuck.
Do you guys mind if I turn on my AC unit for a minute?
Dude, I don't even think we could hear it. Those mics are pretty good. Turn it on and see what it sounds like.
All right, it's on, but it takes about a minute for it to ramp up.
I'm listening. I got on headphones. If anybody can hear that shit, it should be me.
Well, it's got a noise gate, so you won't hear it until I start talking. But it's audible. I can hear it right now.
For podcasting purposes, the audio on a podcast, which would be much cleaner, I think it might. But from right here, I can't hear anything.
And it's going to be like an hour before I even feel it.
Right?
It's dude, it's 83 in here right now. I knew it would get hot, but I didn't know it'd get to up to 83. Well, it was 93 outside before we started this podcast.
When you've got lights and stuff on too, right? Like these lights get hot. People don't like really understand that, but
this is look at this. You'll probably hear the light more than you can hear the AC unit.
I don't even know where I mean, dude, look, if I don't have this light on, where is it? Like darkness, bro. That's a bright ass light.
Yeah, it's pretty bright.
I tell you what, though, we're spoiled because we are in the kind of era of LEDs. Before LEDs and everybody used those tungstens and all that. Talk about heat. Oh my God.
Dude, this LED gets hot because this is 300 watt LED.
Uh-huh.
It gets hot, dude. And that fan kicks on.
Mm-hmm. And it just blows hot air.
This company, I can't remember who it is. It's not Aperture because I bought the off brand.
It's one Dan and Sean.
Godox.
Yep.
They just came out with a fanless light, and it's 300 watts.
I think
400 watts.
I think that's the one Dan and Sean just got.
It just came out like last month.
Yeah, I think that's the one they bought.
Dude, they're $350 a piece, but oh my God, I need to get two of them. I need to replace both of the ones I have because this one's 300 watts and that one's like 120, I think.
Dan, if you're still, he might have jumped out, but if you're still in here, let me know if that is the one you got. I think those are the ones that Dan got, him and Sean, because I told him about Godox because they were wanting to get some new lights and you had said how great they were for the price. And I think they had just come out with those new ones, and I think they pulled the trigger on the fanless ones because of the noise factor.
Dude. Oh yeah, dude. I need the noiseless one because this fan, the fan I have right here is quieter than the light.
Oh yeah, when you talk, I can hear it now.
Yeah, it gets loud, but it's on full speed. Like it's cold there. I wish I could sit closer to it. But I really do. It's hot as balls in here.
I mean, for this particular Hangout, nothing.
Yeah, we're not doing an audio only version
right,
of this.
So I mean, fuck it. Just get comfortable, man.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix this for next week.
Yeah, because and the thing is, it's only going to get worse, right? Because I mean,
93 is not the average high for the summer here. It's upper 90s with humidity.
Yep, it's only going to get worse.
I've been talking to the property manager here at this location, and I think the problem isn't that this AC unit isn't strong enough. This thing pumps out cold air like it's nobody's business. Like it pumps out cold air. It's rated for 600 square feet. This office is less than 600 square feet, and it's very well insulated. So it's not the AC unit. It's not the office. I mean, it is the office, but it's the ceiling. So I am only about my ceiling in this office is about 2.5 feet below the roof of this giant warehouse, and the roof is a black tar.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah, so it gets really hot, and it just absorbs that heat, and I think it traps the heat, and it's just coming down through the ceiling.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of because I'm venting the hot air out. If you go out into that hall, I bet it's 100 degrees in the hall.
Because you're all the cold air that's coming in is pushing the hot air out.
Oh yeah, I bet it's 100 degrees in the hall, but it's 83 in here right now. And if I run this AC unit nonstop, which I do, I run it full blast 100% of the time, it gets the office down to about 73, which is still a little unbearable for me, but I can deal with it if I've got a fan on my face.
Mm-hmm.
The problem comes when it's time to shoot a video and I have to kill all the fans and the AC. By the time I finish a video, it's 80 some degrees and I am drenched. I'm visibly sweaty and I'm miserable. So I've got to figure out how to get around this summer.
It's about 74 in here and I've got a paddle fan going and it's pretty pleasant. So sorry, bro. I'm just fucking with you.
Well, I could crank this thing up, but you're definitely going to hear this too. Like I'm getting fans from both sides now.
What podcasts are coming? A lot of stuff. We haven't, necessarily lined out all the podcasts, but we're going to try to have a loose topic. I think that we're going to cover, but most of these are going to be pretty loose, right? It's a long form discussion.
We're not going to be answering questions the entire podcast either. I think we'll have a segment where we answer some questions, but it's not going to be us interacting the whole time.
Right.
Because if we do that, we're never going to have a single topic. We're going to just be all over the place and it's just not going to be very organized. So once this is actually a podcast, we will talk. And then maybe towards the end, we'll do, like 10 questions or something.
Yeah, like a 20-minute Q&A or something at the end of the episode. Is it always going to be Friday nights? No, I think we said
it's Wednesday.
Yeah, Friday nights. I feel like once this COVID thing starts dying down, people are going to probably be out doing stuff on Friday nights and not necessarily at home watching podcasts. Plus, like Taylor said, he doesn't like to be roped into not being able to go out and have a beer with friends on a Friday night because he's got a podcast every Friday. So I think Wednesdays is the day we're going to shoot for.
Yeah, so probably a couple of years ago now, I used to do a Friday night horror thing, and I would stream a horror video game every single Friday night. And dude, I missed so many outings with friends and stuff, and it just became such a bore. Mm-hmm. Like I loved playing the horror games. I loved the streaming aspect of it, but I ended up resenting it because I always missed out on fun stuff. So I don't want that again. So
still waiting for the hats and glassware, Jeremy. Where's the man shit? It's coming, brother. There have been some holdups because of COVID. A lot of things have kind of been slower than normal. I don't want to give away too much because I want it to be a surprise, but the glasses that are coming out are going to be...
Are you talking about bifocals?
No, whiskey glasses.
They're bifocals.
Yeah, bifocals. I don't want to say too much on that.
the reason he doesn't want to talk too much about it is because it's not just man shit, it's old man shit.
No,
and it's
not.
Actually a set of bifocals.
we designed. I'm not coming out with just a normal Glencairn that's been engraved or a normal glass that's been engraved. We're designing a glass from the ground up, and it's going to be really awesome. But I don't want to say too much. But because of the COVID thing, it has really slowed down the production of a lot of this stuff. So a lot of this stuff has taken way longer than it normally would. But
we were talking about these in November.
Right. Exactly.
November. And we were expecting them in January.
Right.
And it's June. No, it's July.
Right. So do not worry. It is all coming. I promise. But it is slower. I'm hoping and Bengay ointment.
Bifocals and Bengay.
I wish I had the picture. My kids, that's what they bought me for was it my birthday or Father's Day this year? Father's Day this year. They got me like a bag with like Bengay and like all this like old man stuff. And I'm like,
I like your kids already.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some cool merch coming. I think I'm gonna have the first piece of merch, like custom merch, ready. I have some more shirts coming real soon, probably within the next couple weeks. I think the first bit of actual merch that isn't apparel is probably going to be out in maybe the end of July, August, I would say, probably. It's hard to say.
Spray foam insulation. There's actually a company downstairs that does spray foam insulation. So we're actually going to see if they can help me out. Just good recommendation. It's just, we've already been there. And then what platforms will you guys be on?
All of them.
Yes. Once we get going, it takes a while to get approval. So you have to have a few episodes before you can get approved to Apple Podcasts. And you've got to have a lot of stats to be on Spotify, unless they've changed it. The last time I had Last time I had a podcast, I couldn't get approved by Spotify because I didn't have enough of a listenership.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was with 3,000 listeners every week. So I don't know what the requirements are now. They may have opened it up since it's more of a thing now. So Apple Podcast, Spotify, we'll have an RSS feed and that will pull everywhere, but pretty much everywhere. That's the plan.
Yeah.
And then this right here is a really good point. We don't need to be organized, a little just winging it and hanging with you guys. So my theory, and I don't know how you feel about this, Jeremy, but my theory is that we do a scheduled podcast and then maybe like once a month we do something like this where we just hang out for whatever.
Oh, for sure. I think there definitely needs to be some of these where we just wing it and it's fun. And even the ones that are scheduled that we have a topic, right? There's still going to be a whole lot of winging it, right? Like it's
dude, we don't plan anything out ever.
I mean, it's not like we're going to sit down and like write out talking points and all this shit. It's going to be a loose topic just to kind of keep things kind of reined into something. But I mean, if you've watched my channel at all or figured out from this, I mean, squirrel, I'm like all over the place, keeping me on topic.
If you've ever talked to Jeremy on the phone. You've ever talked to Jeremy on the phone.
Right. So,
you know,
when we say it's going to have a subject, a loose, very loose subject. And then
I was talking to Rick earlier today, which I talked to Rick for a long time, and then Jeremy called and I talked to Jeremy for a long time. But on the phone with Rick, we were talking about this podcast, and I said, really, my only fear with this podcast is keeping Jeremy to a time limit. Like, I don't want Joe Rogan length podcasts.
Yep.
And cutting Jeremy off is not exactly an easy task. It's not just a, hey, Jeremy, it's time to go. We got to cut it. We got to get out of here. It's more of a 30 times you got to remind them it's time to go.
Well, and I think the ones that are the loose ones we do like once a month will probably be the longer ones where we just kind of shoot to shit and answer questions all the time. The ones that are a little bit loosely around a subject, we'll probably keep a little more reined in. Cause I mean, I can't be on a podcast for 3 hours every single Wednesday. Like I don't have time, you know?
Chris said, I just wanted to catch a full maturity and came back and y'all still alive. Oh man. So true. So true. We're just hanging out tonight. Like my baby's asleep. Alex is asleep. I got nowhere to be. I'm just hanging out. I have nowhere to be.
That was kind of our whole thing for tonight, was just to kind of drink a little drink, smoke a little smoke, and hang out.
Hey, here's the thing. We have to get to a certain subscriber base, which we're close to, I think, right now, to monetize. And we also have to get to a certain listenership or viewership to monetize. So 746 subscribers. We have to get to 1,000.
So if you haven't subscribed, come on with your
subscribe. And then for viewership, we have to get to 4,000 watch hours, which we are at 2 hours and 9 minutes. So if we have 2,000 people watch this video after the fact and watch it in its full entirety, boom, 4,000 hours. It's right there. So we're playing a numbers game right now.
Let's be honest. Nobody's watching this bitch to full length afterwards.
Hey, I can keep going. I can just wait until we go to the beach or the pool tomorrow. I can just keep talking.
Just keep talking.
Hey,
I mean,
if we have to get 4,000 watch hours by 4 people watching for 1,000 hours, I'll do it.
We can do that. It always amazes me the length of time people watch my videos, right? So like on my second, what is it? Coming next week, reviews of tennis ball brands that fit in the bottom of White Claw. You know, it's funny. That's how women, my wife loves those fucking things. Like, I don't know what's the thing with the what's the White Claw thing?
I'm going to be honest. I drink a lot of Truly and White Claw at the beach. Because
I've got to go, Taylor. I'm sorry. You just fucking lost your man card, bitch. Give it to me.
So this right here is really great. But if you start drinking these at noon, by about 2:30, you're going to be hammered and broke because these are about $7 a can. Trulies and White Claws are 6% and really dirt cheap, and you can drink them all day and not feel you feel a little bit of a buzz. You feel good, and they're cheap. And any kind of beer you drink other than, let's be honest, Bud Light, Coors Light, any of those shit beers, I will not drink. They taste like piss. At least a Truly or a White Claw tastes just like a fucking LaCroix, and I can just drink it. You know, it doesn't taste horrible. It tastes fine. But I'm not going to drink a Bud Light or a Coors Light or a Budweiser even. They taste like ass. I don't like old school beer is what I'll call it. I'm a snob. I like craft beer, but I'll drink a White Claw.
I'm not even a beer guy, man. I'm whiskey. If I go beer, it's usually like a Guinness. I like dark stouts.
So I drank Trulies and whatnot during the day on the beach because you could just pound them all day and you're not going to get hammered. And then in the late afternoon, I would switch to IPAs. And then at night, I have my little flask with some whiskey in it. Some double oaked Woodford Reserve.
Dude, it's good shit. God, I love that stuff.
That was my progression through about every day at the beach.
Mason
I mean,
King.
I'm not driving anywhere. We're social distancing at the beach.
Look at Mason King. He has a... What are the biggest goals you have for this podcast? How do you plan to mix each other's talents to produce topic-based podcasts?
Well, I basically just plan on holding Jeremy's hand through the entire thing.
I mean, the way we looked at it, the part of the reason for the whiskey knife fight, right, is Taylor talking about mixing each other's talents. Taylor is a little better at keeping things on track, and he has a lot more knowledge on the technical aspect of podcast and EDC world. I am more in the whiskey and cigars and stuff like that. So we thought if we combine those between my whiskey and cigars and all that and all his EDC stuff, all that comes together into a pretty cool, lots of just I don't want to use the term man shit because I know I use that on my channel, but just a guy-based podcast where we just sit around and talk about guy stuff.
A podcast. Did
I say podcast?
You said podcast. Do we have to take our shirts off now?
Please no.
So to put it into the basic terms, Jeremy is the whiskey in Whiskey Knife Fight. I am the knife in Whiskey Knife Fight. And then the fight is slanted pockets and Jeremy being an old ass fart and
Taylor being a fucking millennial,
a hipster millennial with skinny jeans.
Well, but you know what I don't understand though is people call me a hipster. If they knew me, I am so not hipster.
But you are.
Dude, I wear flip-flops and fucking Dickies and a t-shirt and a fucking Under Armour hat. You know how much shit I catch for wearing an Under Armour hat? What's wrong with Under Armour, by the way?
I don't like Under Armour.
It's just a fucking hat. I like the way it fit.
What a fucking boomer.
Yeah, right. What a fucking. I mean, I just like the way it fits. I'm real picky about the way hats fit. I like the way it fits. I don't really give a fuck what it says right here.
I like this, and so I get so many questions about my North Carolina hat, and to be honest, this is probably going to be a sore topic for some people. I don't feel pride in things. I've never had team pride. I've never really pulled for a team for anything, no football or anything. I don't have team pride. I've never felt it. I went to high school, didn't feel any team pride whatsoever. I hate to say I'm not proud to be an American, but I don't feel any I don't feel any of that. I don't feel proud to be from North Carolina. It's just I live here. I live in America. Like that's it, right?
You got to be proud to be an American, man. Come on.
Really, in these day and age. Anyway, not if you go on Reddit, you do not want to be an American right now. Just saying, Reddit hates America.
Well, there's a lot of shit that's going on. Right now.
But I get a ton of questions about this hat in particular. I literally only bought this hat originally because it had a leather patch, and I've been wearing basically this same hat for like 2.5 years now. Not this hat. I have like 9 or 10 versions of this hat, but I just like the leather patch. So I'm going to do my own hat with a leather patch, but I really don't care that it has North Carolina on it. I just like the leather.
Right. Does it patina?
Yeah. It was a veg tan.
Take a shot, motherfucker. Patina.
It was veg tan. So this was lighter when I got it, but this was also veg tan when I got this hat.
So that's instead of butt sweat patina, that's head sweat
head
patina.
Sweat.
See somebody down there said Jeremy Weller 12-year hit or miss. I'm going to say miss. It's not that Weller 12 is not good. It's that it's become such a thing that like it's been raised to this level. It's impossible to find. Everybody talks about it. Like
get you a bottle of Pappy.
Yeah. It's this thing. Right. And it's not that great. It's good, but there's a lot of other shit out there that you could find in any liquor store that's just as good as Weller 12. Now, there are going to be some people that want to punch me in the face for saying that, but I'm just being real. That's how I feel about it. Weller's a good product, but it's not worth the hype.
Jeremy, Guinness anywhere but Ireland ain't good. So I've heard this a lot.
I've heard this a lot too.
I've never been to Ireland, so I've never had the opportunity to drink Guinness. But I'll tell you what, I used to drink nothing but porters and stouts, and I loved them. I still will drink them from time to time, but god damn, they're so heavy.
Dude,
it's like a meal in a bottle.
Have you ever had a stout with chocolate-covered espresso beans?
Not that specifically, but the guy's pool that we were in, where I dislocated my shoulder. Splashing his
and you
kid.
Call me a boomer.
He made a peanut butter cup porter. Ooh, dude. So he made some of that. I went on a live stream and I went over to his house to get a crowler of it before the live stream. And boy, I drank that whole thing. It had to have been 13%.
Some of those get strong, bud.
Dude, I drank 32 ounces of it and stood up. And the room started spinning.
You're like, oh no.
And I was on live stream. I'm like, oh boy. Gonna sit back down. In fact, there was a beer that one of my favorite beers. It's actually a porter, I think. Or stout. I can't remember. Prairie Bomb Artisan Ales. Artisan Ales Prairie Bomb is what it's a bomb. That's the type of beer. Prairie Bomb. Very hard to find. If you can find it, it's about $1 an ounce. So it's not cheap. A 10-ounce can is $10 or sometimes more. Yeah. And I found it on tap somewhere. It was on draft, and they had crowlers. And a crowler of it was significantly cheaper than buying it in a bottle because I think
you got to be careful with growlers, bro.
Crowler. So it's a 32-ounce can.
Oh, I thought you said a growler. I'm like, you got to be careful of those because.
One of my best drunk stories comes from me downing a growler of an Imperial Russian Stout, which I can tell, but I can tell parts of it. Some of the people in the Discord already know that, but the Prairie Bomb is 13.5%, and I got 32 ounces of it. And if you got the bottles, it would have been over $30 for it. But in a crowler, it was like $16. I was like, well, shit, it's half off. I'm going to buy it in a crowler. Went home, got on live stream, drank the whole 32 ounces, and fell over. I had to go to the bathroom. I got up and just fell over.
That'll happen.
Yeah. Crowler, aka normal can. A crowler is 2 pints. Actually, yeah, it's 2 pints. So it's 2 of the crowler is basically this.
Just holding this up in case anybody wants to see what this is.
Nobody cares.
Some of you guys are cigar guys. I guarantee there's a couple cigar guys out there.
I'm going to mail this to you. Can you do a video on smoking this?
I wouldn't smoke that. I mean, here's the thing. It's probably not that bad, right? Like, it could probably be saved, honestly. If you put that in a humidor and left it in there for like 3 or 4 months and let it slowly rehumidify, it would probably be okay. See? Cigar guy. I ought to tell you.
Fantastic stick. Oh, it's Brazen Head. Nobody cares. He's going to start talking about clutch here in a minute.
Dude, these are good. These are Bellas Artes, I think is how you pronounce it. Could be Bellas. I think it's Bellas. I'm pretty sure it's Bellas Artes. It's a AJ Fernandez. It's a Lancero. These are delicious. And I know I'm not going to make it through this whole cigar. We're going to get off before then because it's already been a while, but I'm not going to sit here and not have a cigar and some whiskey. So,
well, I'll tell the growler story real quick. So it was Christmas. My mom was in South Carolina and she was doing something for work at a brewery. And she thought it would be nice to get me a growler for Christmas. So she texted me 3 beer names and said, which one do you want? So I told her, and it was a Russian Imperial Stout. And she got the growler for me. And she said on the way home, she heard it pop open and she could hear it kind of hissing. Mm-hmm. So I went over to her house that night and picked it up. And because this was right before Christmas, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to see you for a few days. If it's already open, I need to go get it and drink it. Mm-hmm. So I went and got it, and I came home and I told Alex, I was like, we need to split this. It's already open, so we have, a day or 2 to drink it. And I opened it up, poured a glass for her, poured a glass for me. She took a sip and she said, that tastes awful, and I don't want anything to do with it. And I was like, well, okay. She said, I'm going to bed. I was like, well, okay. I'll just sit here and watch TV and drink. And I drank the whole damn growler. It's 13%, 64 ounces. Whew, she came downstairs at like 2 a.m. because I was cry laughing on the couch. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's hilarious. And dude, I was way gone. And she's like, well, you need to go to bed because you're going fishing with my dad in the morning. And I'm like, okay. So,
and what time of the morning was this?
He told me to be at his house at 5:30, and it was already 2.
Yeah, negative. I'm out.
It was already 2. So
it's a firm negative.
I went and laid down. I drank a whole bunch of water first, went and laid down, and I woke up about 5:20, and I texted her to Dad. I was like, all right, I'll be there in a little bit. Honestly, I've never driven drunk, but I think I was still drunk when I got up. I mean, it was only 3 hours.
Yeah,
and I was still so asleep that I didn't really know what was going on. Never would do that again. But dude, I got to his house, got in the car with him. It was about an hour to the lake. I felt so bad. Miserable.
Dude, the last thing you want to do when you got a hangover is be on a boat.
Dude, I was on a boat.
It's like rocking around and you're like
all day.
It's hot. The boat's rocking around, fish and fucking bait and smells and stuff. You're just like, ugh.
Oh, you want to know the best part? We went to get lunch, and the only place that we could get food, this was several years ago, the only place we could get food that early was at a gas station. So we stopped at a convenience store, and I picked up a pre-made chicken salad sandwich.
Oh. Why don't you just get egg salad? It fucking doesn't get much worse, bro. That's like the worst.
No. My chicken salad actually turned out okay. But her dad got a turkey sandwich, and his turkey was brown. He didn't realize it until we got on the water. He opened it up, and it was brown. He threw it in the water. He's like, fuck that.
The fish wouldn't even eat it?
Dude, but the thing was, I was still kind of buzzed when I was eating. And all I had was, like, fish smell on my hands and eating chicken salad and kind of drunk, like, just it was not a great experience. But
what is that guy? He said, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story, but I just noticed
that's the end of the story.
The same stick was going for $45 in the UK. Holy shit. That might answer the question as to why they don't get a lot of these in the UK. Fuck me. I think this cigar was, I don't remember. I've had this one in the humidor for a little while. I want to say these go somewhere from the $10 to $13 range here. Ish.
I need to smoke that one I have at home.
10 to 13. And then somebody had said,
I don't remember what it was.
First, third impressions.
Do you remember what it was?
Mm-mm.
The one I have at home?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I don't remember either. I'm trying to look it up.
First, third impression is AJ Pepper. You always get pepper in a lot of these AJ cigars, which I enjoy. Earth, leather.
Leather.
A little bit of coffee, maybe. Got a little bit of that coffee bitterness on the back. More pepper. That's all I'm getting right now. It's not good and warmed up, though. Usually once they really get in, you get into the first third a little deeper. You start getting some of the more nuanced stuff. Right now, it's just leather, earth, and pepper.
Do you drink old fashions or just whiskey neat?
Whiskey neat, baby.
So I've got another little story.
I have a really good old-fashioned recipe, and I will occasionally break one out in the summer when it's a little warm, or if I have people that aren't whiskey drinkers, but I'm trying to introduce them into whiskey in a soft fashion. Oh yeah, Romeo y Julieta. That's a good, mild, easy smoking cigar for somebody who's not into cigars. That's a good starter.
Yeah, so I got that at home waiting for me. I don't know when I'm ever going to smoke it. Maybe I'll take it with me this weekend.
But old fashioned, if you make old fashions correctly, not the way they make them in a lot of bars where they just like mash up a bunch of fucking orange in it. It's supposed to be made with bitters, some Demerara sugar, and then you muddle that and you just put a little bit of orange peel. You squirt a little bit of the oil from the orange peel. They're good that way. I'm
more of a Manhattan fan. I like vermouth.
Yeah.
So, but I'll have a cocktail every now and then, especially if I'm out. I typically start like if they have Lagavulin, I'm going to start with a Lagavulin and finish with a Lagavulin. But if I go out somewhere and they don't have Lagavulin, I'll probably usually get a cocktail just to see, just to try it.
Have you had the Oppermans or not Oppermans? The Opperman. What's the guy from? From Parks and Rec?
Offerman.
Have you
Nick
had
Offerman? No, I haven't. Dude, I told you our selection's horrible here.
Dan and Sean, it's a younger Lagavulin. The Offerman, I think, it's
12.
12. But Dan and Sean, I don't know about Sean, actually. Dan, no, I specifically have talked to him about it. He says the Offerman is better than the 16. I don't know.
I don't hate the 8. I don't hate the 8. My brother-in-law does hate the 8. So
I like all Lagavulin. I do
too. If you give me Lagavulin anything, I'm going to love you forever.
I do love I have to say, I think there's a couple Ardbegs that I like better than Lagavulin. Not all of them. There are definitely some of the Ardbegs that I prefer the Lagavulin, but like the Ugadal and this new Wee Beastie that just came out, I think I actually would rather have one of those over Lagavulin. But over
I've
the
just
10,
found myself
Lagavulin.
Not drinking a lot of whiskey at home, especially since having the baby. It's just, man, I'm at home by myself all the time. I normally only drink in social situations, so I don't drink when I'm just sitting around the house. So I'll have a beer when I'm sitting around the house because that's easy to just drink a beer and be done. But
Chris just said, don't muddle fruit in an old fashioned. No shit. You're not supposed to do that. But in a lot of bars, they will just throw a fucking like orange wedge in there and just, and then you're making like a damn.
I have because he's a dick. Look at that frail little watch. It looks like a woman's watch on your wrist. That's
why I told you, bitch. I don't get 40s a lot because I got a fucking big wrist.
This is a 40.
But see, a 40, I told you a 40 looks small on my wrist.
It doesn't. It looks fine. It looks actually exactly how it's supposed to look.
No, I mean, it looks fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy I went with a 40. I really like it. It's very slim. It fits very nice. But I don't have a problem wearing like a 42 at all. A 42 does not look like some people, a 42, it looks like too much.
Can we appreciate this fantastic example of German engineering? Actually, that crown's not totally screwed. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Here.
Look at that.
Only after we appreciate the Swiss. All right. There's a focus.
Good luck focusing with your Canon.
See that nice dome crystal in there?
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Look at that dome. Oh. It's good.
That is pretty sweet. Look at this, though. Can your shit do that?
That's like a fucking tank track.
I know. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. I told you, man, my next one, Tudor Black Bay. That's my next one.
This is a much more expensive watch than your Oris.
It is. It is.
I could sell it and get an Oris.
Because those Oris is new from an authorized dealer about 24, 26.
Yeah, but nobody pays that.
Some people like using authorized dealers, man. They go authorized dealer and go that route. And if you go to authorized dealer, you're going to pay that much.
This was 25. It's pretty thick because it's an auto chronograph. So it's a pretty thick watch.
There's a lot. See, he says 42, nothing smaller. See, I like 42s. Taylor is more of a 40 or 39, 40 guy.
I have a 42. I have a, actually right here. I have my, actually, is it a 43? It's 42 or 43. It's the Glycine Combat Sub.
Yeah, I got the golden eye. I love that watch. It's a good watch, man, especially for the price.
I have the Drop Soda version.
I dig that. That's another one
on an elastic band.
Oh, those are those new elastic
brass
bands
hardware.
you got.
Yeah, I have it on brass hardware, but had to pick and choose just a few bands for the video. And this right here is probably my favorite watch right now. Still, I mean, I love this thing.
Thing's deep.
It is very deep.
They should call that deep. Is what they should call that watch.
So everybody talks about how thick marathons are, but they're actually not super thick. They look it, but it's actually like an optical illusion. It's about the same thickness as a Submariner.
He says, "What's the thickness of that 16 millimeters?"
Yeah. Well, he's talking about this thing. This thing is thick. Like your automatic chronographs are always pretty thick.
Yeah. Well, you know those Black Bays are thick. They're 15 or 14.
Yeah. This thing's pretty thick, but dude, I love this watch so much. I mean, it's just so clean.
It is a clean watch. It's a good looking watch. I mean, I like I said, they're not my like style, but I can fully respect that
You'll
it's a
have
dope
one
watch.
Someday.
Don't doubt it.
But this right here is.
But you know, I love a Panda. It's it's funny though. With him saying the thing about the 42. The trend was big, right? And now the trend is going back smaller, and smaller watches are getting more kind of popular, and they tend to have better resale value. I do tend to like 40 or larger. Like
that 43 Oris. Is it 43 or 42?
I think it's 42.
Dude, resale on that's horrible.
That's what I'm saying. The 40s sell crazy, but the Black Bays are 41. And I'm definitely not going for the Black Bay 58, which is 39.
Dude, these elastic bands are just so comfortable.
You know the only problem I have with those elastic bands?
Nope.
I'm not a NATO guy, and those look like NATOs.
But this is so much more comfortable than a NATO.
Oh, I mean, comfort-wise, I'm sure that's like the best thing since sliced bread. But I am a leather strap or bracelet guy, just for looks. Like I like.
That's because you're a hipster.
I don't think that's hipster.
Going for looks, that's hipster.
I mean, but I mean, part of a watch is the way it looks, right? I like, with my size wrist, I like a 40 or larger with a leather or a bracelet.
Chad Dimas says, I have an 8.5-inch wrist. That's a big wrist, dude.
You got a
I'm left-handed. Do you have a suggestion for a man-sized lefty auto chrono?
8.5-inch wrist. I would say pull a clock off the wall and put that bitch on a strap. You got a big wrist, homie.
I have a 7 7/8 wrist. Like I got almost an 8-inch wrist. So it's pretty big. I don't know of any lefty chronos. That's a thing. That's a tough one, especially if you're not looking for one. It's hard to find one. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but honestly, even with an 8.5-inch wrist, I think you're fine with 40/42.
Yeah.
So if you can find a 40 or
42.
42 inch, and more importantly,
40 is
than
going to
your
look like a fucking Tic Tac on his arm, dude, at 8.5.
more importantly than your case diameter is your lug to lug.
Yes.
Really. That's your big thing, because this is a 40, but it's got kind of long lugs. And that Oris, it's a 40, but it's got a pretty good wrist presence. So I mean, it just matters. Like it depends, is what I'm trying to say. It depends on what the shape of your wrist and the lug to lug.
Do they make that one in a lefty, or do they make it in a chrono? I don't think they do. Never mind.
What?
It's it's a glycine. The glycine, what's it called?
Marathon JSAR made left-handed chronos. JSAR is not a chrono though. The JSAR is just the jumbo search and rescue. So it'd have to be like a jumbo CSAR, which is their chrono search and rescue. If they made a left-handed CSAR, I mean, that's let me show you a CSAR.
That guy said he needs to see that's a 40 Oris. Yes, that's the 40. This particular, the Diver 65 comes in a 40 or a 40.
Here, I can put you on. Whoops. I don't know how to make you.
It doesn't matter.
There we go.
That is a 40 millimeter Diver 65. The thing that's nice about this is the taper on the band. I think it tapers down to 16 millimeters. So it's got a really nice kind of, I think they consider that like the vintage taper, because older watches used to have that strong taper. But that is the 40. And I have a 7.25 inch wrist. But, it's funny. We were talking about wrist sizes, with the guy that has the 8.5, and you were saying the lug to lug matters. The other thing that matters that I don't think a lot of people consider is your wrist. My wrist is a 7.25, which isn't a large wrist, but my wrist is much wider than it is deep, right? So if you have a very like hot dog round wrist, like Taylor, then
so the Marathon CSAR.
But you can get away with a smaller size because it's really the width of your wrist that will make a watch look small, right? Or being able to carry a bigger wrist. So when you measure your wrist, it's not just the circumference, it's the width across your wrist.
Yeah. This right here is that's a big old watch. I think it's a 46.
Jeez, that'll fit on an 8.5-er.
Yeah, I don't know if they make it in a lefty, but if they do, that's the one.
That's the dude.
I can see if they make it lefty. Let's see. Oh, that's a left-handed JSAR. It's not a chrono. I don't know that I've ever seen a left-handed chronograph. I might have seen one or two, but I've definitely not seen many. But that is a lefty JSAR, and the JSAR is definitely a 46. That's a bogus website. Let's do this. Big boy right there. That's a 46. I think the lug to lug on that is like 53 millimeters.
Yeah, that would hang over my wrist.
It's a big watch.
That's a big watch.
Here, I'll show you the JSAR.
While you're looking at that, what do you guys think about smartwatches? I have a Samsung 42 millimeter. I love it. Hey, man, you do you, bud. A lot of people love smartwatches. My wife loves hers because she uses it to track all her physical activity for the day and her, all her. Good God, that's a fucking huge watch.
I tried to tell you. That's probably like a 7-inch wrist.
That guy could have like a 5-inch wrist, though. You never know what the picture is, but yeah, that looks like that's a fucking monster. But a lot of people love there's a reason why smartwatches are popular. A lot of people love them. I specifically like the mechanical watches because I like the whole mechanical nature of them. I think they're cool. But hey, if you like them and it works for you, man, get it.
See that right there? 46 millimeter diameter, 17 millimeter thickness.
That is a huge fucking watch.
Yeah, I think Long Island has the lug to lug on it. I think. Technical specs.
He says no, his wrist is wide and flat. So yeah, if that's the case, man, that big dog right there might be your dude. That'll probably.
Well, he was looking for a chronograph. That was 55 lug to lug on the JSAR.
Yeah, dude. There you go. Try that.
That's the one.
If there is a watch that's going to make your wrist look small, it's that one.
It's called Jumbo for a reason. That's a big ass watch. I mean, this is their 41 millimeter. And it looks kind of small, but their Jumbo is huge. I think this is 49 lug to lug. That other one's 55. I mean, it would hang over my wrist, and I got a big wrist.
That's a big dog, man. That's a big dog. Are you gonna do some?
Dude, that JSAR is no joke. Chris Saunders says, "Wow, rated 500 meters, triple sealed. Geez, that's a thick watch." Yeah, for real. And in fact, a watch I have right now is. I think I gotta go get it. I'll show you. Keep going.
I'll read some stuff while you're going. Holy shit. Come on. Okay. What is it? Are you guys gonna do some pipe videos? Yeah. I've thought about it. I have a pretty decent pipe collection. And like I said, I don't smoke pipes near as much as I used to. But it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. I have thought about doing, one in the rotation at some point. Wow. I'm wearing this. Okay. I think that's all the ones that we haven't answered.
All right. So this. This is a hell of a watch. This is a Zelos Hammerhead rated to 1,000 meters, all bronze, weighs about a half pound.
You know what? Keep talking. I'm going to look at something.
It's right here.
That's that one. Yeah, that thing's a fucking brick.
This is a beast, but this is the reason so I have this blue elastic on my glycine, but the reason I got this the reason I got this blue elastic was for this hammerhead, and I shouldn't have got brass hardware for a bronze watch. I now realize that, but we're going to ignore that, and we're going to see what the strap looks like.
I was looking to see, because some of these glycine does a 44 millimeter on some of their watches, and a 44 is a pretty stout dude. That might be good on his wrist also. I just don't know if they do any chronos.
I think I don't know.
Wait, no, they do. Here's one. Here's a Glycine Combat Chrono. This one is not one of their 44s though. I think this is a 40. What size is this? It doesn't say. What the fuck? It's a 42. I don't know what the lug to lug is on it. Width 22. Doesn't have the lug to lug, but that's like a sub combat style chrono. Black. That's a pretty dope looking watch, actually.
Is it automatic? But it's not left-handed.
Yeah, that's right. Might not be. No, that's a quartz. Never mind.
So let's see if I can remember.
Glycine makes some big watches though, and Glycine they're automatic. See, like this one right here. This isn't a chrono, but this is just an example. This is a 46 millimeter combat sub.
That is just too big.
It's too bright. I mean, but for a guy with an 8.5 inch wrist, I mean, he needs a big boy. He can't be wearing no 40s. 40s will look like a Tic Tac.
Yeah, you said the same thing, and then you realized I wasn't full of shit.
No, I mean, 8.5 inch wrist is a big wrist, man. He's probably a big dude. I don't imagine he's 5'10" like me. He's probably upwards of 6'3", 6'4". He's probably a big fella.
So these elastic bands really take some effort to get on your wrist and get straightened out. But I did get this big boy on the elastic.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading some of these guys. He says, "Congratulations, guys. This podcast has outlasted the time it took the Titanic to sink."
Chris. Oh my God. This is a big watch.
That's funny.
Hey, it holds on just fine. Look at that.
It's not even like the size of that watch, is the thickness of it.
It's a thick boy.
I mean, what is that? 16?
I think it's 17.
7. I mean, that's such a thick fucking watch. 17 millimeters. That's so thick.
With 1,000 meter dive, like, it's a big watch.
Well, I'm
gonna wear this thing this weekend.
There's this whole thing, by the way, with the meters, right? So I talked about the Seiko 5 Sports on my last video, right? And you know, there's the whole thing about the SKX 007. The 5 is kind of the replacement, at least looks wise. But they got rid of the screw down crown and went from 200 meters to 100 meters. And I made the argument that I don't see what the big deal is. If you're not diving, 100 meters is more than deep enough for most people.
Right. You're splish splashing in the surf. Like you're not.
And then a lot of people were saying though, that like when they say 100 meters and 200 meters, that doesn't really mean you can go 100 meters and 200 meters with those watches. It has to do with the bar certification.
But it still doesn't. It still doesn't matter. Like who's diving anyway?
I mean, yeah, that's my argument. Is at 100 meters, the deepest I go is 6 or 8 feet in water. I mean, it's going to hold up just fine. There's not going to be any issues there. I mean, and you know, one of the guys that was a diver commented, and he said, we use dive computers. Like we don't even use watches anymore to do diving. So that shit doesn't really matter too much.
Right. It shouldn't anyway.
Right. If I'm 200 meters deep in water, which is deep as fuck, I might add, I'm not going to be looking at my watch to time anything. Like I mean, that's a sketchy situation. I want something more than just a watch letting me know when I'm going to be out of air at 200 meters deep. That's deep.
It's a fashion piece.
I mean, who dives that deep?
Not many people.
No, I mean,
that's a very, very small percentage of people. I'm going to rock this thing. I think it looks good. It's just thick.
I do like a bronze watch.
All bronze. It's heavy as shit, dude.
I do like a bronze. The back's not bronze though, right? Keeps it on your wrist.
Oh yeah, that is a stainless steel case back.
Most all of them have like a little bit of a raised stainless steel case back to keep that bronze from.
But that case is all bronze, dude.
Yep. Glycine has an all bronze version that's pretty nice.
I have run out of beer. What a tragedy.
He said he loves this. Andrew says he loves the Seiko, but he can't stand the 5 logo redesign.
I'm with you. I don't like it.
I don't mind it. I mean, here's the thing. I know a lot of people were in love with the old version, so the change fucked people up. But I don't dislike it. Does look a little like a Superman symbol, which is kind of weird. But I don't know. I don't mind it. And I like the fact that they went from printed to applied indices. I like the fact that they went to hacking and winding on the movement. Nice.
Patina, 1 pound carry right here. Dude, I'm working out.
Patina. Take some more shots, bitches.
Look at that. Look at that. That's some actual weight on my hand right now.
Mm-hmm. But overall, the changes they made, I like the changes they made over the 007. I like the applied indices better. I like the movement better. I like the clear case back better. But that's just
exhibition case back. What a plebeian way to.
Sorry, somebody corrected me when I said it. Mine had a date option. They said it's called complication, and I'm like, I know it's called a complication. I'm sorry.
I think I need a new mic stand for my desk. It just keeps inching its way down.
You got to get one of these blue shits. I forgot what it's called. The blue
mic arm.
Yeah, but it's called, I can't think of the name. I'll send it to you. They're like $100, but they're really good. And it hides it has a channel that the cord goes in and everything, keeps it nice and clean.
Mr. Lococo, you're just going to have to send me more bourbon. That's all I got to say about that. You're going to have to send me more bourbon.
Here's the thing.
Also, can I just say, Nathan has been following my work for, 7 years now? Nathan? You're the real OG. Just got to put that out there.
I'm drinking whiskey, just so you know. I've actually had 2 refills, and I'm going on my 3rd right now. So
what a try hard.
I'm going. Hey, it's fucking whiskey knife fight, man.
Where's your Sabinza?
If somebody's not bringing the heat with the whiskey,
Yima Superman or Marathon T-SAR. One, I'd go with the G-SAR over a T-SAR. Yes, well, no, this is a T-SAR, not a G-SAR. but I'd spent enough on watches, and I got a good deal on this, and I couldn't find a good deal on a G-Star. But the Superman, they're kind of cool. I don't hate the Yima Superman. I don't hate it, but I would go with the G-Star, I think. Just saying.
Where did I get my Oris? I think I ended up getting mine from Joma Shop, I think is where I got mine for them.
No, you didn't. Because they had a 3 to 5 week delay. You got it from Watchman.
Watchmax. It was either Watchmax or Joma. Those are the two shops that I was back and forth on. It was one of the two. I was happy with it though. It got here quick. Came with all the papers, the box, everything. It was all in good shape. No complaints.
Yeah, I got this sucker for $700, which with a bracelet they typically go for about $900 to $1,100. So I felt pretty good about that. Brand new.
It depends, man. Like I don't think I'd go gray market if I got like an Omega or anything that level or above. I would probably want to get it from like an actual dealer and not from like a online purveyor. Probably just to, I don't know, make it like a special thing. But like I'll probably get my Black Bay from one of those sites. Like I'm not going to go pay full price for a Black Bay at a Tudor authorized dealer when I could get $600-800 off.
Jeremy, you realize that I paid that much for a quartz watch? Look at that second hand. Tick, tick,
Tick,
tick,
tick, tick.
These are $1,100 quartz watches.
Mm-hmm.
But so good. So good. About damn time what? I don't know what you're talking about. Speaking of the Sabenza, how good are they? They're as good as it gets. Honestly. I mean, if you're not going full custom, Sabenza is just literally rock solid. Listen to this sound. Just take this in. If you can hear it.
Ooh. 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 Hey, real quick before we get off of that though, what's your take on the gray market / authorized dealer thing?
Some things I would get gray market, some things I wouldn't. So I had no problem getting my young hands gray market, or I got the Damasco wasn't gray market really. I guess the Damasco was from an authorized dealer, but you can't really find Damasco or a lot of German watches gray market. Oris is, I think, a German brand. But
Oris? No, they're Switzerland.
Swiss.
Yeah, they're Swiss.
But Damasco and De Facto and a few other German brands they have a few authorized dealers that they work with. But like, if I were to get an Omega, I really want a moon watch so bad. I want a moon watch. That is a grail watch of mine.
Right.
And if I'm going to buy that, I know that if I go through an authorized dealer, I'm going to pay more. But I want to buy that bitch in person.
Right. See, that's what I was saying.
I want to go into an authorized dealer, try that thing on, walk out with it with an Omega bag and the full experience. I know I'm going to pay about $2,000 more, but it's more of a token of success than it is, I like this watch.
Right. And that's why I said, I think like Omega or above, like, I feel like that's when you get into like, it's worth going to the authorized dealer and having the whole experience. But anything below that, I feel like save the money and get it from a reputable gray market person that, is, selling good shit. That's just me.
Yep.
Like if I ever get a Rolex, I'm going, I'm not buying that from Joma Shop. Like I'm going
which a Rolex, like you're buying lower at authorized dealers than you would be secondary anyway.
Right.
So you got a wait list and
well, there's just the whole experience, right? I've seen plenty of people talk about the experience of buying a Rolex in person, and like, you get the champagne, not that I like champagne, but it's the whole, like you said, you get the bag, it's the whole experience, right? It's part of the thing. Yeah. And those are watches that are grail watches and they're like an accomplishment. It's a special thing. And you don't want to cheapen it by,
buying it used.
Right. So, well, I mean, unless you're into antiques, which then obviously you got a lot of guys collect the antiques. So
this is true. I'm sure if you wait long enough, the classifieds on the Discord will get you what you want. That is true. Just wait for Steven or Bree to buy some, or Chris himself. He's sitting here talking trash, but he's He's one of the flippers in the server. So somebody will buy one of the drops. I got my Shamwiri. I don't know where I put it, back in my pocket. I got this on the server. These sold out in seconds when they did the drop, and I paid $20 more and got it like 3 days late because I waited for somebody in the server to have it. You know, that's how I get my stuff. People are like, how do you always get the drops? Discord server. Also, I kind of have a little bit of buying priority there.
Chris is saying go to an authorized dealer for Omegas. You get 20% lower.
Some, yeah. Some, if you talk to them, like an Oris, like if you go to the authorized dealer, their sticker price is probably, for that one you have on your wrist, is probably $2,200-$2,300, but you can probably come out with it for $1,600-$1,700.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do the same sort of deal that you get from like Joma at the authorized dealer, because they have to compete with somebody like Joma now,
right?
Whereas 10 years ago they didn't.
Right. The reason I haven't been going to any authorized dealers is because I'm just not going out in public unless I have to right now. Like I'm just not. Nope, I'm out.
Well, we are at almost 3 hours. I think it's
2 hours and 55 minutes.
I think it's about time to wrap this sucker up.
It is. I do believe it is.
I was going to check the time on my watch, but I just put this thing on and it's an auto, so it's not set. So
yep. No,
it's 11.
I hit record on the road when we started, and it's at 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Oh yeah, mine was still factory resetting, or not factory, flat.
We went full Joe Rogan
formatting.
podcast.
We did. So we're going to have to not do this next time.
I think these 3 hour ones are only going to be for the once a month or so bullshit, hang out and drink and just shoot the shit and answer questions and do stuff. The other ones need to be a little
shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to get off here and probably play a little bit of Rocket League.
I'm going to finish this whiskey and cigar and go see if my wife is still awake.
And then you're gonna have another whiskey and cigar break.
No, I got to get up and do some recording tomorrow. I didn't get shit done today because I was getting stuff ready for the podcast. So I'm behind on my video for the week. I need to drop a video by Sunday, hopefully. So
I have to mow the yard at 9 a.m.
Told you, man, you need to hire a guy for that shit.
This is my escape.
It's true. It's true.
Little music or a podcast and just NASCAR the whole yard.
That's it. That's it. That is it.
All right. Well, thanks guys for hanging out.
It was fun. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been fun. A fun 3 hours of literally just rambling.
Yep.
It's what we're really good at. This has been about a standard phone call for Jeremy and I.
Well,
so
just real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Please tell me more.
Just real quick. It's funny because we said because you said that these are the conversations me and you have every week anyway, right? And we always joked around why the podcast got started, as we said, we have these really long conversations that other people would probably like to have about watches and knives and all this random shit. We're like, why don't we just do a podcast? And then we could save time on the phone and get other people involved in the conversation. So this is literally what we normally do a couple times a week anyway.
Yeah, so the old podcast that I had, Untethered, it originally was born from a few of the guys that I played video games with. We had some of the greatest conversations I've ever had in my life while playing Call of Duty.
Right.
And we were like, why the hell don't we just record this and make it a podcast?
Right.
And we did. And it was great. And we had conversations about dark mazes and glory holes.
Oh, Jesus. You told me about the dark mazes earlier. That's disturbing. But
it is still out there on the internet, but you have to do some digging to find it. I'm just going to put that out there.
But I do think this is, hopefully people enjoyed it. And I think that's exactly how this podcast came to be, was why don't we do this in a podcast?
Yeah.
Our conversations are so long. So we shall see. Hopefully it does well. You guys enjoy it. It takes off.
Yeah, that would be great. So thank you guys for hanging out. We're going to be, actually follow us over on Instagram. I'm going to throw this little banner up real quick. Follow us over on Instagram and we'll let you know when we're doing the next one. I'm not 100% sure at this point if we're going to do one next week. I'd like to, but our schedules have been just mad lately. So we're going to do our best to make this eventually a weekly thing.
Mm-hmm.
But until we can get everything squared away and smooth rolling and my air conditioning fixed, which is a big one. We're just gonna have to play it by ear, but just go follow over on Whiskey Knife Fight until then, and we'll see you guys pretty soon. Not sure when.
Soon.
But soon.
Soon.
All right. See you guys.
All right, guys.